Welcome to a world of thrills, a world of drama, of capes and tights, a world where death is following dough. Welcome to the Geek Matrix. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Geek Matrix DC Comics Review Show, episode number 267.
Oh my God, he did it, folks.
Whew, I'm good. Welcome, everybody, not only to technically our first week of October, technically second week of October, but also New York Comic Con is here. And there's
that
a lot
it
of
is
news to talk about. My name is Rob. We're going to get into that news in just a few minutes. Joining me, as always, are my wonderful co-hosts, Josh.
Hi.
And Brandon.
Hello.
Yellow indeed. And today we will be talking about Aquaman number 10, Batman and Robin number 26, Action Comics number 1091, Green Lantern Corps number 9, and the long-awaited, highly anticipated DCKO number 1.
Yeah,
with our honorable
we've got
mentions.
some words about that one.
Oh, I have so many words.
We have some words about DCKO.
You make it sound ominous.
Something that we don't have words about, but are worth mentioning is Court, Children of the Round Table number 2, Batman Gotham by Gaslight, A League for Justice number 4, both of which are really good. I'm enjoying Court. I don't know if you guys are enjoying the little kids. I don't normally get into this kind of thing, but it's fun. Supergirl number 6. I haven't read it, but I'm assuming Rob has.
Not yet.
Not yet, but it's on his plate for sure.
I have.
Have you?
I have. I've been following this series since issue 1. I don't know. This book is like, I want to say guilty pleasure, but I don't feel guilty about enjoying it. Yeah, it's just
but
like
it has that vibe to it.
Yeah, it's like I shouldn't like this because it's got that classic Silver Bronze Age Paul Kupperberg vibe, but it's so cute. It's like I just want to be friends with everyone in that book.
Yeah.
One thing
especially
that I have noticed with you guys since we started this 400 years ago, is you guys do crave easygoing stories where the stakes aren't high, because that way you guys get to just have fun reading comics. So I can totally see how Supergirl is almost like a perfect book for you. It leans into the goofiness of like traditional comics. It's modern characters, and it lets you have a good time without knowing that you can read it without getting upset.
Yeah,
you know, just fun.
You definitely know. You've heard me talk about how much I tend to enjoy the kind of simplistic storytelling style of older comics, and
for sure,
sometimes you just need that, and not everything has to be a multi-part epic. But even with this, it's like, even if it wasn't going for that older kind of storytelling style, it's just the fact that the book has a very warm-hearted nature while genuinely being true to Supergirl. Yeah. And I'm not going to pretend to be the biggest Supergirl fan. I have some books that I like, but I'm no expert by any means. But this book is taking a very holistic approach, which honestly is kind of nice. Like it's really just like Supergirl is taking on many different forms, but she's still
Superman
here. Still very resilient.
Usually one of them. That's what it almost feels like a cheesy, well, like Brandon said, a Bronze Silver Age kind of comic, and it does have that feel. I prefer. Yeah. I would prefer. Myself, I prefer Supergirl in more serious stories, whereas I can excuse lighter shit with Superman just because that's the character, but I'm just about it. I totally get where you guys are going with it. Have any of you guys read any of the next three? Superman: The Kryptonite Spectrum number 3, Batman: Dark Patterns number 11, and Batman: The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween number 9. The last one, I know neither of them have read. But the first two, I'm curious. I have not had a chance to read these three yet, but I have also enjoyed these three series a lot. So, well,
Yeah.
Long Halloween probably the least, but the other two are like a lot.
I'll say this much: Kryptonite Spectrum is finally coming into it. I mean, I like the first issue, but it feels like now we're really getting into the core of Prince's voice, and I'm getting a lot more Ice Cream Man vibes from the different kind of alterations in storytelling style. Dark Patterns is, let me put it this way: Dark Patterns is going to be a book that will 100%, maybe this is a horrible prediction, but will 100% be getting multiple hardcover and special editions in the future.
100%.
It's that good.
It's
that, and not even
good.
just in terms of story. Like it's you. People love to say every once in a while a Batman book comes around and it's just, it knocks your fucking socks off. It's incredible, and it's not like, I'm not gonna say this is like the greatest thing ever, but this is probably one of the most unique ones we've had in the past couple of years.
For sure. Unique. Definitely. I feel like we've seen a lot of creatives trying for that. Some succeeding, but ultimately, it's it's just that damn good. It's that Batman book that does come around once in a blue moon, and like all the other, like Black Case book, and all the other ones, Court of Owls. This is going to be one of those storylines that, even though it's not in the main continuity, it's going to be remembered, I think.
Yeah.
Rob.
I would say more so for just being a very bold experiment, which is fuck a grand storyline. Like, let's just tell 4 incredible, heartfelt Batman stories. We don't care about continuity.
So
we don't care about how this fits. That's the point. You know what I mean? So and like grabbing Hayden Sherman while he's on a really top tier artistic run right now is just like, you couldn't have asked for better circumstances.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, this will be an easy one. This is like, if I was like, hey, you should read Batman, I'm like, this is one of those books that you should read, because you could read any one of these 4 stories. It doesn't matter what order, and it would give you a perfect sense of the darkness of the city, the detective work that Batman is capable of, and the intensity of everything else that surrounds it.
Yep. 100%. Couldn't agree more. And it is like one big story, but with different cases in it almost. That's the way it feels like to me.
There's an emotional through line, but no, you don't have to. I actually got this verbal confirmation from Dan Waters. You do not have to read it in order. The whole point was that each of the 4 story arcs are self-contained.
Yep.
But if you read them in order, there's an emotional payoff in this most recent arc, the name of which I'm forgetting. It'll come to me in a minute.
All right. So we got Kryptonite Spectrum. I agree with Brandon. It is finally giving us what we need. Long Halloween, I enjoy. Nobody else does. I think I might be the only person reading it. And those are all the honorable mentions. Rob, we're just not going to get you to read Dark Patterns, are we?
It's on my list. I'm behind on a little bit. Like Kryptonite Spectrum, I still have to finish issue 1. I just haven't had a chance to read it yet because I keep adding Marvel books to my pull list.
Quit it.
So I can't help it.
They're just a trick. It's a trap.
I would say at this point, like, Dark Patterns is pretty much out the door. You might as well just wait for the hardcover to come.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a more enjoyable experience.
Yep. Yeah.
I'll at least check out the first issue, see if it catches my fancy, and then I'll maybe think about a collected edition. That'll probably be out in like January, February, I think.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It has one of the best arc names I've ever heard, Pareidolia, which was a term I'd never even heard of, but it's a fear of me.
I love that term. Yeah.
Pareidolia. I was like, that is... I wish I was that smart, dude.
thought they had a different meaning. Unless I'm thinking of a different word.
Or I'm sorry, no. It does have a different meaning. I'm thinking of a different word, but that is the name of the arc. But it's the fear of patterns. Sorry, not the fear of needles.
A phenomenon wherein people perceive likenesses on random images.
Yeah. So have you ever seen the movie 23? That's pareidolia, where you see the shit all over the place, even though nobody else usually will. The movie Bug is also an extension of that. But in any case, we don't need to talk about pareidolia.
I mean, but with some of these images on Google, like, how can you not see a face?
Yeah.
Unless I'm just crazy. I'm like, these look very obvious.
Well, see, a lot of them, they're designed to have that face that stands out to you within another image, and that makes a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
But there are people who can't, like, for example, look at an electrical receptacle and not see a face.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
I mean, it's kind of built that way too. You got the two eyes in the mouth. It's kind of hard not to see it.
We tend to add human traits to everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of a experience of the human condition.
Yeah.
Quite the condition.
Anywho, I said we get into some news because there's a lot of exciting stuff to talk about.
So there's a lot of exciting stuff to talk about.
Yes.
Then why wait? Dive
right. That's what I thought. I'll start off with the Marvel news. Get that out of the way because I know you guys probably don't care.
There's a cajillion number ones.
Actually, no. This is quite the opposite. I mean, technically, it is a number one, but it ties into two ongoing series. In what month? Okay, kicks off in February, runs through April. A Spider-Man Venom crossover called Amazing Spider-Man Venom Death Spiral, will excuse me.
Who's gonna be Venom?
Still Mary Jane.
I'm in love with Venom Jane. Never be the
This
same.
is co-written by Joe Kelly, Al Ewing, and Charles Soule, with art from Jesus Said.
So, I am not opposed to that, but only because I've been warmed up to it in the Marvel Spider-Man game.
Right.
So, like, yeah, Mary Jane can be Venom. That's totally all right with me.
Fair enough.
I don't have to read it, but knowing it's all right.
Fair enough. I mean, I've been trying to get you to read Venom and Carnage for a couple of months now because it's actually not bad. Carnage, I think, is right up your alley.
I'm not lying when I say shit like this, but it's in my list.
Yeah.
I make sure my list doesn't get too unmanageable. When about 2 or maybe 3 years into this show, having recommendations from the two of you, I know for a fact that my to-read list that I never got to was a total of 47 series.
Jeez.
I decided to be a little more stringent.
Fair enough. If it means anything at all and helps you get to it or take your time with it even more, whichever, it does seem to be coming to an end soon. I think it's going to like issue
10, right?
10 or 12 or something. Yeah, maybe 10.
What, Carnage?
Yeah.
Carnage, yeah.
Okay, and Carnage currently is Eddie Brock.
Is currently Eddie Brock, but that will not be the last time you see Eddie Brock as Carnage because he will still be Carnage in this crossover where Mary Jane will still be Venom. Peter will finally see that Mary Jane is Venom, and they will both find out that Eddie Brock has the Carnage symbiote, and they will be going up against this new villain called Torment.
Oh,
all three of them working together.
Torment is going to finally reveal that Ben Reilly is not the clone of Peter Parker. It's the other way around.
God damn it. Let's not do this again.
Remember when you could actually read Spider-Man?
Well, here's the funny thing. Remember when Amazing Spider-Man kind of like not really relaunched, but had the new creative team, and it was supposed to be a little more grounded? Well, right now, Ben Reilly is posing as Peter Parker. Norman Osborn is dressed up as Spider-Man, and actual Peter Parker is lost in space with Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like,
that
first issue was so underwhelming. Like,
it's actually, I'm still enjoying it, but it's lower on my tier list.
There's just nothing to enjoy. Like, it just,
yeah. I'm kind of just reading it out of like desire at this
just
point.
More of the same.
Where I've been pushing Spider-Man back for so many years, but I really want to read Spider-Man again, so I'm just like kind of forcing myself into this. I'm like, there's not things to hate. I mean, there's things to hate, but there's things to love as well about it. So I'm kind of finding some bonus to it.
I'm thinking that's what happened to me and Marvel books. Like I kept on reading X-Men, X Factor. I kept on reading the books I really enjoyed, and they weren't getting any better. I read myself into them, and then out of them.
And that's what happened to me with Marvel in the 2010s, mid to late 2010s. I just kind of gave up on it because I wasn't enjoying anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been rereading DeMatteis' Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, and it's just like, it's really good, but there's a thought that's ever present in my mind, like, this is as good as it will ever get, you know, or this is close to as good as it will ever get, and maybe it'll kind of get close in 2001 when Straczynski comes on Amazing Spider-Man, but yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I feel hopeless about the Spider-Man franchise, at least until they replace the editorial team with someone competent. It's just more of the same. It's just like not fun at all to read. It's it's slightly, it's not miserable like it was with Zeb Wells. It's just nothing. I read it and I feel nothing, which is honestly worse because like I'm not even mad. I'm numb. Like I don't even care.
It's just
Peter's
worse.
in space with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay,
and I feel literally nothing.
Yeah. I always say something can have value if it garners an emotional reaction, whether it's a good one or a bad one. It has some kind of substance or value to it. But like you're saying, you gather no emotional reaction whatsoever to it. That's kind of damning to me as a book.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just nothing.
And it's exactly how I like. There's nothing is like overly exciting. I'm reading it. And I got to the end of the 2 issues ago when he freed a whole bunch of creatures and Rocket was there and was like, huh. I normally I should be like, holy shit, Rocket and Peter, that's gonna be so dope. But I'm just, yeah, okay, that's a comic, sure. Yeah.
It's I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just like puts me in a bad mood, honestly.
Has Tom Taylor ever written
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 2019? He had a 15 issue run, which honestly, actually, I take it back. I said that this is as good as it's ever going to get. There was one period, high school, for a year and a half, almost 2 years, where I was like, Spider-Man is untouchable. We had the video game, we had the high point of Nick Spencer's Spider-Man, and Friendly Neighborhood, which was a fantastic compliment, even if I felt like it was shaky towards the end of the book. But I think that was just because he told the story he wanted to tell, and it was just kind of like, fuck it, I'll just do a filler story with the Fantastic Four. But that was like 2018 to 2019. That was the last, like, wow, maybe this is it. Like, maybe the future is bright. And then it wasn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. I couldn't really see him do a long run on that book. And honestly, it would probably just be kind of pandering anyway. I have no faith in the main title anymore.
I would almost want to suggest Dan Waters, but Spider-Man's been shit on for 25 years.
No, I think if you were to bring in Dan Waters, you would do like Web of Spider-Man or one of those offbeat titles. That would be really cool.
Yeah,
I keep saying they need to relaunch Web of as a horror book, but
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, can someone explain to me? I mean, while we're on that subject, why doesn't Spider Noir have an ongoing?
Oh, funny enough, issue 1 came out last week.
Yeah,
Of
I think it's
Spider
a mini,
Noir?
but
Spider-Man Noir, yeah.
yeah,
That's a badass character, dude.
I don't know.
That's one of the best alt Spider-Mans there is. Period. I love that character. He's cool as shit.
No, yeah, I was thinking more like horror centric titles because they've always toyed with it, and I was like, Spider-Man is a character that surprisingly lends itself to some great horror stories. They've always dipped their toe, but
Definitely
they've never
can.
gone full in on a book. But they did. Saladin Ahmed and Juan Ferreira did a book called Spine Tingling Spider-Man
Oh yeah.
I remember
a
that
year or
shit.
two ago.
Yeah.
It was really good. I mean, it wasn't
then I'm
like
thinking of
phenomenal, but I was like, as far as a horror book goes, like this concept is great.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think they need to. I remember like because I used to buy Web of Spider-Man a lot, like the '90s series, and because it was cheap, it was always in the 99-cent bin. And I couldn't get any of the other Amazing Spider-Mans. But in my head, I was like, this is cool, but I feel like they should do a different spin. Like if you were to bring it back, like do a spin on it, like do a horror themed Spider-Man book or a fantasy themed Spider-Man or something different, you know. So it's not just like more of the same or the friendly neighborhood problem, which is just it's smaller Spider-Man stories that are basically the same but kind of different, but basically the same. The core is the same, so you're paying for the same book twice, which take that as you will, but just give it a little bit of a different spin is what I'm saying.
There's all kinds of potential for Spider-Man horror stories. I mean,
Yeah,
you could get funky with Hobgoblin, Doppelganger. I don't know if you guys. I don't know if that character.
I remember Doppelganger.
Yeah, from like the '90s. I mean, mutations to Spider-Man, Man Spider getting. There's all kinds of shit. You could turn loose Venom and Carnage. I mean, that is a real. Why don't they do Spider-Man Red Band?
it doesn't have to necessarily be gory. But yeah,
Well,
yeah,
not
I don't know.
gory,
It's just
but
like an
horror.
idea.
You know, like
Yeah.
they could
Yeah,
amp up. You know, the depictions. It doesn't have to be gory at all. But I mean, they should. They should. Well, maybe not Red Band, but you know, like some kind of an alt imprint. I don't. Well, Marvel Max
Yeah.
isn't a thing anymore, but
Bring it back.
that would be really neat.
to do what? Another Garth Ennis Punisher book? That's all the label's used for anyway.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The last like 4 or 5 books have just been throwbacks to Punisher's military years or a Fury book or something.
Yeah.
I think they actually have another one coming up. I honestly can't remember. The last one might have been Punisher Soviet, which I liked, but I'm like, come on, guys, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
If you're gonna resurrect the Marvel Knights imprint, why not resurrect Max and do something a little different with it instead of dragging Garth Ennis to do another book that he's probably doing for a paycheck? Not bad. It's just like you can do other things, or
Yeah.
maybe that's the only one that sells. I don't know. I couldn't say. But they never did Spider-Man Max, which I always felt like was a missed opportunity.
Could be
Something
a cash grab. And honestly, to pivot us to the next bit of news, it sounds like they might need it soon because Marvel also confirmed in April 2026 the Ultimate Universe comes to an end.
Bye-bye.
Ultimate Endgame number 5, I believe, will release that month. And supposedly that whole universe and imprint will come to an end.
Yeah, the headline that I saw said, "For real this time."
Yeah, we shall see. Not many people are believing it. Maybe that story, maybe 6160 will come to an end. But I don't see the line ending. And a lot of people are thinking that only because some of these solicits for the quote unquote final issues of the current series kind of hint at more stories coming down the line. But additionally, all of the books, or at least most of them, have been in the top selling Marvel books since its inception. They have been the biggest selling Marvel books.
So they go boom and they bring those characters
mainline
into the
series has consistently had better selling numbers than any Ultimate book since the Ultimate line came back. So it would be a major loss for Marvel to just throw away the Ultimate line.
I don't think they're going to throw away
At the same time, though, I'm kind of like, maybe this could be the rare exception where you go out on a high note. Like, why go out sad like the previous Ultimate Universe did when you could really have the creators come in and tell a definitive end to their story and then just let it be, you know? And even if they were to reboot the universe or have it take on a new form, I'd be fine with that. But just bring an end to everything that's been developing with the Maker story. I think more than anything, I want that. Because if it drags out and just kind of goes out with a whimper, that's worse. You know,
I think they're going to move a selection of those popular Ultimate characters over to the mainline universe.
I hope not.
Yeah, let's not do that.
They've already done that twice, and it got stale.
You remember
really fast.
Jimmy Hudson? No,
yeah, apparently
Marvel does it.
Apparently, he was in an X-Men book at some point, and then
he was in X-Men Blue for a year, and seemingly has never been seen again.
Yeah,
I mean,
when they started up this whole Ultimate Invasion, the Maker went to specifically Miles Morales and nobody else, and said, "You're from my world. Come with me."
Because that's the only one
Jimmy,
people care about. This is my point.
I care about Jimmy Hudson. Because I was one of 5 people that read Ultimate Comics after Divided We Fall.
God.
I mean, they could be looking at a throw everything at the wall and hope one Miles Morales's.
Like I said, at this point, just let it go out on a high note. And if you must drag it into the main universe, which I think is highly unlikely, you know, do what you will with that, but mercy kill it when it doesn't work for you, which it inevitably won't. But I'm like, just let Dennis Camp and company finish their main story, and then I don't know, just call it, you know.
Yeah,
I think that would be the best case scenario.
Well, then, do we have any other news?
Oh, there's lots. Yeah. So another thing for Marvel, I think this is the last one for Marvel. I don't have a month set to it, but Daredevil's relaunching with a #1 yet again, and it is reuniting. I would say fan favorite creative team from Daredevil's past, Brian Bendis and Alex Malik.
Is this a recession indicator? Is this the recession indicator? Because this feels like a recession indicator. Like, oh my god,
and see what.
Oh my god, we fucked up. Like, we got to bring back Grandpa and Grandma to do Daredevil again.
Hey, Alex, they
shit.
What it was Bendis and Malieve that did that Moon Knight run together too, right?
2001.
Yeah. Now,
well, that was not.
I didn't read Daredevil. I didn't read Daredevil, but I read that, and that was great. But that was back when Bendis could write too. But I fucking loved it. I understand that if I remember correctly, not a lot of people did, but I enjoyed the shit out of it.
I've often said that Bendis's like top style of writing is noir, is crime thriller. Like that's where he shines, and a character like Daredevil lends itself to that style very easily. So I could see Bendis shining again. Just like I said earlier today when we were chatting about it, Brandon, like his writing style, maybe it's just the type of stories he's been writing, but it hasn't really shined in many, many years.
Yeah.
So
that wasn't that was him. I mean, he made Moon Knight go extra nuts. He thought he had personalities where he thought he was Captain America and Wolverine, and
it was a crazy time for Moon Knight, but it was actually it was Spider-Man as well.
Yeah, and man, it was good. Yeah. I enjoyed the shit. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" the whole goddamn time. But yeah, that's
Rob that creative team is in Daredevil my top 3 run you've read.
Wait, what?
I think I've read bits of it, but I was never a huge Daredevil reader back in the day. I read like a few issues here and there, but I never read like a whole run or anything.
Matter of fact, allow me to step aside for a moment.
Oh, he's going to the closet.
I'm going to the closet. No, I need to make this clear for the record before the haters show up.
He has
Bendis' Daredevil is literally one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah.
Like I have the rare Ultimate collections right here on my shelf, easily accessible because I love going back to this. So let me make it clear. This was a book I was obsessed with senior year of high school. That being said, historically, when creators come back to a book they've already done, it doesn't always go well. And that's why I'm wary of it. Not even just because Bendis' track record has been spotty of late, but it's usually the problem is like, what do you have to say? What more do you have to say about the character? Like you did it. You even did the like future storyline that all creators do at one point of a character that they're attached to. Frank Miller had not really Elektra Lives Again, but I can't remember the name of the book. And even Charles Soule just did it recently with that Cold Day in Hell. So you finished it. Like you had the concrete run and you did a victory lap in 2012. What more could you possibly say? So at this point, I'm like, I'm gritting my teeth because on the one hand, yes, it's very cool to see that. And it's like, oh my gosh, I love this run so much. Like to see them doing it again is incredible. And how could you not be excited? But also, Grandpa wants to write Daredevil again. Does he know what he's doing? I don't know. And I'm kind of scared of the prospect of like, what do you have to say? What could you say at this point, you know? So.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something that came out of nowhere and makes absolutely no sense to either one of you, but I think it would be fantastic. And I hope that there's nothing up with one of the people that I've said to invalidate this team. But I would think that Spider-Man would be a dope story if it was written by G. Willow Wilson and drawn by Clayman.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting creative team.
Yeah.
I have no faith in Spider-Man editorial, so I feel like that would definitely need to be a separate ancillary book.
The biggest villain in Spider-Man comics, yes.
That is,
maybe
quite
they
the
could give Spider-Man a better fucking book. And I like Clayman. Sorry, I just always find myself going back and.
But Josh, you don't understand. Yeah. Peter Parker needs to be relatable, so he always needs to suffer.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. You want to know how I know that? Ask Absolute Peter. His life was great. Mary Jane, two kids, married. You know what I mean?
But also not real. I mean, he's happy,
yeah.
But the whole first issue is about him feeling like something is missing. So there's still an emptiness that's present. Yeah. You know. And that's sort of the lie, the illusion.
That book is not being edited by Spider-Man editorial. That's the Ultimate editorial. So it's treated better.
So what I'm saying is like they should be able to look at that and see that Spider-Man doesn't have to have like suicidal thoughts all of the time in order to, be a Spider-Man book. I think that's absolutely crazy.
No, but how could you be relatable when you're married with children? It's just our readers aren't married with children. They're losers, right?
How many
I suppose, but I also don't have fucking spider powers. The relatability only goes so far.
Yeah.
Comic books are teenagers and older. Mostly older.
I don't know how many times I've heard that excuse come out of Marvel editorial.
For what?
Of like Peter Parker needs to be a relatable character. It's like fuck
so
off.
Make him relatable.
He hasn't been relatable in 40+ years.
No, yeah, but he hasn't been relatable since day one.
He was relatable, and then you fucked up and made him a super genius.
Yeah.
Honestly, half the people reading Spider-Man couldn't even relate to him because, if you can afford comics and have that level of comfort, your life is probably not that similar to Peter's anyway, if only in terms of, social isolation, maybe. But I'm like, I don't have spider powers. I don't have, several girlfriends and adventures with the Avengers and everything. Relatability only goes so far, I think, in just the very basic character sense. But as long as he has that, who gives a fuck if he's married or has kids?
Yeah.
Peter will always be the underdog, regardless of his family status. It makes no sense at all.
like I get it when Stan Lee would say it back in the 60s when he was writing Spider-Man and Peter Parker was still a 15-year-old kid trying to balance like school and have a job and have a relationship and all of a sudden now be a superhero as well because this comic book has to have a superhero.
Yeah.
But that I get, okay, sure, relatable to teenagers at that time. Not anymore.
Right.
Get
and
over it.
when
Move
they
past
moved him from like a blue collar job to making him a fucking super genius and then shuffling all of his shit all over the you
I would
had
even
a
just
you
say
had
from
the
like the day the
world's
Clone
most
Saga happened is the day he
relatable
stopped being
superhero
relatable.
and changed everything about him. Because at that time that was like there was nobody that was feeling relatable with the Fantastic Four. There was nobody that was feeling relatable with Batman or Superman, but Spider-Man sure as fuck was. And then as the character progressed, they were like, this is the most well-known superhero on earth. Everybody loves him. He's so relatable, and that's probably why everybody loves him. So what if we just started changing everything?
I don't think it's a coincidence or an accident that Superior Spider-Man really was the Superior Spider-Man.
Isn't that fucked up? Isn't that fucked
Doc
up?
Ock was a better Spider-Man, in my opinion.
But that's not even a hot take, dude.
No,
That's
it's not.
just facts. All right, I'm yammering and making the conversation take longer. We've got lots of news, so I hear we should probably talk a little more.
Two more things. Announced today, DC had a Vertigo panel introducing the Vertigo line coming out soon, including a whole bunch of new number ones. In addition to the Nice House by the Sea number 7 confirmed to return very soon. But additionally, a new number one written by Tom Taylor and drawn by Derek Robertson, a book called Necretaceous, which details a zombie apocalypse in the Cretaceous period and a bunch of seemingly maybe kids or just people have traveled back in time to escape a zombie apocalypse, but they end up bringing it with them, it seems. And on the I've sent a cover to you guys, a zombie T-Rex. It's just wild.
Crazy.
Yeah
I
might check it out. That's Tom Taylor just having fun taking two genres and like smashing them together again. It just sounds fun. And additionally, it's been rumored for a while. I know Brandon's talked about it a few times, and it's finally confirmed. Whoops, it's been removed by the moderators on Reddit. Okay, I don't have the full thing here, but
I'm looking at the list. It is
Veitch's Swamp Thing is coming back to finish off.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about I can just briefly talk about my Vertigo opinion if you want, but you can talk about the Rick Veitch thing first if you want.
I mean, that was it.
I don't know how familiar.
I figured to tie it in because I think Swamp Thing was also a Vertigo title back in the day as well, right?
At one point, yeah.
Yeah.
So not at that point, not because Vertigo didn't exist.
But like, but I figured it
was not so yeah, sort of. Yeah, Rick Veitch takes over after Alan Moore, if I remember correctly, in like 1988 or 87 or something, and has a run that
86.
I think DC likes to pretend people like it more than they do. I actually kind of like Rick Veitch's stuff, but I know there was some people didn't really like the whole Constantine and some of the Abby Arcane stuff. I don't know. It's debatable. A lot of people get mad about a lot of things. But that being said, I don't think it's nearly that bad. Really, DC values it. They just put out a couple of collections of it. But it's been well known for a while that there was a story, a 4-part story. I think it was a 4-part story. It might have been an annual that Rick Veitch was supposed to write. I don't remember all the story details, but I remember the biggest point of contention was there was an image of Swamp Thing pinned to a cross, And they were like, no way. And Rick Veitch was like, I quit. And he did. And that was supposed to be, I think, like his closing arc. And the writer that was supposed to replace him, a little sour to hear now, was actually Neil Gaiman, who did a short story in a Swamp Thing annual, was supposed to be the next writer and then quit in solidarity because he's like, fuck this. Like, if I can't do what I want, who cares? And I think they got Nancy Collins to replace him, which maybe in the long run might have been the better choice in a moral sense, but I don't know. That run is also debatable whether you enjoy it. Anyway, like I said a while ago, I feel like DC finally putting this out after years should dispel any rumors about censorship. But I'm just surprised that they're really going for it. The only thing that I wish they would commit to is selling it at its original price, or what would have been its original price, rather than charging $5 for a book from 1988 when it should be about 75 cents to $1. Just saying.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if you're putting it in your collection, why not go all in on it? You know what I mean? That is what they love to do these days. Why not give me a book that I can go to the comic store and pay 75 cents for, as opposed to $5 for an issue featuring art that was drawn 37 years ago?
Yeah. No, definitely. Or you can just like put it out as a collected edition, $20, be done with it.
Yeah.
Put out all of
but then if I have my
one collection for $20
of the Swamp Thing, how am I supposed to properly collect it?
Yeah, that's true too.
Come on. Dust off the old printer in the New York office, which probably doesn't have it anymore, and print some of those old ones. Have someone who knows how to use the old YMK or CMYK or whatever the fuck it's called.
I think I know.
Bust out those color
printer. They've got
yeah, one. Print it like it's 1988. You know,
4 colors, bitches. We're going way old school.
That's what I'm saying. And at that point, it's like, fuck it, you know, go with the original price. But they won't do that. But hey, at least it's coming out. So I'm
no, it would cost them more to dot matrix it, wouldn't it? Isn't crossover expensive to make because of that?
I mean, doesn't wait, which crossover are you talking about? Like the comic series?
Yeah, the comic.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they used like the faux old bubble effect. There's like a texture that you can put in digital artwork these days, so it's not like authentic. You're not actually having to, you know, match the color code and everything.
I've never read it in person, so
yeah,
it looks unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can tell.
Matrix. Looked like it was dot matrix, and then they went over top of some of it. But anyway, cool art.
Yeah.
And what else do we got, gentlemen?
Tonight
airs Vertigo news.
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'll keep it brief because I don't want to hog up all the airtime. But
yeah,
I don't. What did you say again? Did you talk about the titles? You just said Vertigo was. Oh, you said the Necrotaceous thing.
Yeah, I talked about Necrotaceous.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, and also Nice House of the Lake #7 is officially carrying the Vertigo labeling. But there's a slew of other titles, mostly from creators that you know, including a title from Dennis Camp and Stippian Moran. Hey, 20th Century Men fans, called Bleeding Hearts, End of Life by Kyle Starks and Steve Pugh. That sounds familiar. They did that Peacemaker book, but something else. I can't remember. Obviously, 100 Bullets, another flashback book from Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Risso, a book called Black Tower from Ram V and Mike Perkins, The Crying Doll from Mariko Tamaki and Rosemary Blaro O'Connell, A Walking Shadow from Simon Spurrier and Aaron Campbell, Fanatic by Grace Ellis and Hannah Templar, and The Peril of the Brutal Tark and Ezra Kane Mystery by Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips, which that was quite a flashback to see for anyone who was following his Patreon back in 2020. Like I said, I'll keep this brief. Can you tell me the common element of all of these books? Because I can. None of them are new, and that's sort of the problem. When I first saw the announcement, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like, 100 bullets, it's back. Oh my God, I can't wait to tell my kids and my grandkids that I'll never have about when Grampy got to read a new 100 bullets from Brian Azzarello. And that's fine and all well and good. But the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I mean, this is cool objectively, but at the same time, I don't know. There's just a little part of me that's like sad, and I get it because again, I don't want to go into too much of a tangent, but the landscape of comics has changed very much. And you have companies like Image and later Dark Horse and others that have really been able to prioritize their creator-owned line and built it into this whole prestige, empire. But I think the problem with that is if I'm a new creator, why would I work at Vertigo? What does it offer me that I couldn't get somewhere else or from self-publishing, aside from the label, which gives me an extra level of credibility? And the biggest problem that I had with seeing this whole lineup is every single one of these is someone you already know, which basically means Vertigo is following the Image, Boom, and now Mad Cave and every other publisher format of get whatever creators you can grab from the larger commercial publishers, have them do a creator-owned book, and hopefully the readers of Ultimates or Nightwing or whatever will follow them based on name alone. And that's a great way to market your books, but it completely shuts the door on any newcomers. Once upon a time, a young Brian K. Vaughan was not the Brian K. Vaughan we know and was just some guy pitching a book about a man and his monkey during the apocalypse where all men die. That's a very broad way of saying a lot of these people were newcomers. Where are the newcomers? Where is the new talent? I know it's not as easy to market, but I'm like, where's the next generation? Some of these people are newer. Dennis Camp and Chris Condon obviously don't have a ton of work to their name, but I'm like, let's grab some people who have basically nothing to their name, and let them build something that could be the next Why the Last Man or 100 Bullets or Preacher or whatever. I don't know. It's something about it is like, oh, so we're trying to compete with what everyone else is doing by doing the same thing, as opposed to taking a chance on some newer voices that, maybe it won't sell as well, but at least you're trying something different. Even Black Mask was doing that 10 years ago. So I don't know. And maybe it hits different for me, I think, also because it's like, I think if I was ever to pitch a book, like I would want to be in that lineup. I want to be like, yeah, I could do a Vertigo book. Like, my God, maybe I've written 5 books or something, but I could pitch something and maybe it could take off, or maybe it could be a complete flop. I don't know. But now it's like the door just continues to get smaller and smaller. And if you don't already have a resume, it's just not going to happen,
Is it possible that what they're trying to do is find all of these titles that were massively successful, all flashback books, all these books coming back, in a way to launch the imprint successfully and then allow others to come in?
That's exactly what they're doing, yes. But I'm just saying, like, at least have a few new ones in the lineup,
I'm not gonna argue with that.
It's just it's all yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'll stop talking now, but I'm just like, it's a little hard not to look at that and be like, okay, well, I guess I have to have 4 books out from Image before I could dream of getting a gig at Vertigo. That didn't used to be the case, Not saying everyone could get a book at Vertigo easily back in the early 2000s or something, but the threshold I don't think was as difficult as it is now. So I don't know. Or I guess I have to write a successful book at Marvel and then do a creator-owned book, and then maybe DC will notice me and ask me if I want to pitch a creator-owned title for them. So, yeah, I don't want to be completely down on it. All of these books look super cool, but at the same time, it's a reminder that like Vertigo won't be what it was. You'll never have that same crop of new talent unless DC really just invests in that, or if they're just going full steam ahead with people who already have several books to their name. And I think that sucks. Anyway,
Have to
let's talk
agree
about some
with you there.
superheroes now or something.
It's like I don't.
Yeah.
All right, then.
I know. It's like whenever it gets like really quiet, it's like, okay, I gotta stop talking now.
No, I'm just listening, dude.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're right. Hopefully the line launches well and they are able to bring new creative talent in. That would be fantastic. For them to see that the risk is worth it. And I feel like DC does an awful lot of that. They're jumping in on, this is just devil's advocate shit, jumping in on what they are assuming would be for sure sales. And if they're wrong about that, then it's definitely not safe to do it with new creative talent. It's barely safe to do it with Joe Hill.
Yeah. That sucks.
Which sucks butt.
If there's, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's honestly a worse outcome because if it's like, if there's no hope for, you know, Tom Taylor and Derek Robertson, what hope is there for any of us, you know? Seriously, I would imagine you would feel that same concern as someone who is working on his own independent title. You know, it's like if you can't get in on a book like that, and you have someone who's written Nightwing and is currently writing Detective Comics, what hope do you have, or any of us have? It's over, you know. So I don't know. Yeah.
Brandon's gonna get published.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. In this market, it seems less likely every day. But I'd love to be the kind of person that could actually make it past the threshold at this point.
Nonsense.
But I just know it's like me and my big mouth. Like even if I get in the door and manage to get something published, I'm gonna piss someone off, and that'll probably be the end of it.
I was literally just telling Holly today about how nice you are and how much you refrain from offending people. She heard me. I was typing up a review and she heard me backspacing furiously. I'm like, God damn it. She said, what is wrong? I said, I can't say this or else Brandon's going to fucking yell at me.
Yeah.
And I changed my sentence. Your disdain for offending other people helped me frame my reviews a little nicer.
I appreciate that.
Or at least a little more publicly
I don't know.
consumable.
Well, anyway, for the people who want to pick them up, I will certainly be picking them up, which sounds odd considering I kind of railed against it. Like, please do support it. I want this to do better than the previous Vertigo relaunch. But
yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rob's gonna do his part by picking up overtime shifts just to be able to support our favorite titles. So
overtime's off right now, but I'll do what I can.
So start reading 100 Bullets now.
God, yeah. Actually, that's not. It's not easy, but it's honestly, it is not as difficult as you might think. Like the idea of, oh my God, 100 issues, that seems exhausting. Seems worse than it is, but like you read the issues, you get through them in like 5 to 7 minutes. They read super fast. They're not dense at all.
Yeah, you'll
earlier
flip
issues
through it,
kind
find
of are,
yourself getting through 10 of them like bang.
And I could, at the drop of a dime, I could turn this into the Brandon Loves 100 Bullets review, and I could talk about all the arcs that I love and why Wiley runs the Voodoo down is like one of the greatest crime stories of all time, and just how much the art changes and evolves and increases over the years, and the themes, and I'm already going into it. But the point is that is a book that, like, when you get into it, man, you're flying. That 100 issues goes by fast.
Mm-hmm. Good shit, Brian Azzarello, as always.
Yeah.
Or at least as usual.
Well, at a very specific point in time.
Yeah.
There were some books that were, untouchable. That book, certainly. Others, maybe not so much.
Still good. I enjoyed most of his stuff, but I'm probably not remembering else. What else do we have news-wise?
Okay, last thing I have. Tonight airs the season and potentially series finale of Peacemaker, episode 8 of season 2, which James Gunn has said that he specifically pitched tonight's episode, to David Zaslav and WB when pitching the entirety of the DCU.
This is episode 8, right?
Yeah. Episode 8,
so
last episode of the
pitched
season.
episode 6 and 8 to them. Yeah, I believe.
Well, specifically episode 8 is what I'm reading. Episode 6 was just one of his some of his I think he was saying that episode 6, 7, and 8 is some of his favorite works that he's done, and episode 6 and 8 have huge revelations, but episode 8 is important to the DCU as a whole.
Shut up, Russell. We ain't spoiling Peacemaker. We're just talking about it. What did we spoil? It is fantastic, though. I mean, wait until you see how Genghis Khan comes back, Russell. It's gonna fucking blow your mind.
Me and a coworker have been telling him for a few weeks now to watch Peacemaker, and he says he's not going to because he needs to watch the Suicide Squad first. Which I said he doesn't. But if you're going to, and I get it, just go ahead and fucking watch it.
No, look, bro. I just said, bro. God, I've been talking to him too much. Russell, my man, you don't have to watch the Suicide Squad. Everything in the show from the Suicide Squad that you need to know is going to be shown to you in a flashback. You don't need to know anything else. If it is not referenced in Peacemaker and explained, it's not a part of the universe. Suicide Squad, that part didn't happen.
It does not matter at all.
At all. You don't want the... How fucking old is the movie? I don't want the movie spoiled.
It's like 3 or 4 years old at this point.
Right.
He's slacking. He's too busy watching The Lincoln Lawyer every day.
We're going to pull Russell in and make him watch it with us. The movie.
Yeah.
How's that sound, guys? Brandon, can you sit through the Suicide Squad movie?
The first one or the second one?
The second one.
The second one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, sure.
The first one, no, I don't blame you for watching that. No. That's painful.
I don't think I've seen the James Gunn Suicide Squad since it came out, actually. Like, I watched it in the theaters and I was like, I got everything I need.
Yeah. I'm pretty much in that boat too.
Not in a Suicide Squad movie.
That way, it was just like I felt satisfied.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There wasn't anything I would say I need to watch again to really get more enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, but we've got to force Russell into watching Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
We cannot let this procrastination
rewatch.
Yeah. And Russell, do not let the first one enforce your opinion on the second one at all, because it's a completely different movie.
No.
Well, yeah.
Only a couple of the same characters and same cast, and that's it.
Yeah, and one of them got replaced, so.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
I'm curious who you're talking about, but that's besides the point.
Will Smith got replaced with Idris Elba.
Yeah, it's a different character.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, that don't count.
Deadshot and Bloodsport.
Yeah. Never mind. That don't count then.
Yeah.
You like the first one except for Margot Robbie? Russell, go home. Go back to
Margot Robbie is like the only stayover for the second one.
Yeah.
Captain Boomerang is there as well, also played by Jai Courtney, but he's not there very long.
No, it's almost kind of like a cameo appearance.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I have it on good authority that Margot Robbie can't stand you either.
Yeah. Next, you're gonna tell me you didn't like the Barbie movie, but that's besides the point. Watch Peacemaker episode 8 tonight. It's gonna be a good one.
Definitely will be.
I can't wait to watch it. Oh, I'm so excited.
This shit is so good. Like, Holly reminds me when it comes out.
Yeah.
Both of us having our minds blown by episode 1 of this season.
Right.
It's like, this is not something you watch with your parents. That's for damn sure.
I'm debating if I want to like push Ange into watching like all of the DCU. Just starting. I know the Suicide Squad is not technically part of it, but I'll start with the Suicide Squad, going to Peacemaker, Creature Commandos, and Superman. She's seen Superman already, but the rest she hasn't seen.
Creature Commandos is cool. I absolutely fucking loved it. I mean, loved it. Where else are you gonna see Bride of Frankenstein boob? But no, in all seriousness,
I'm trying to make my wife watch this, not make my wife not want to watch it.
It was a really good story. Did all the characters really well. I loved it. That was great. Yeah. I wouldn't call it necessary, like required viewing, but
that we know of yet.
Yeah.
James Gunn stated that like both Superman and Creature Commandos are both technically the start of the DCU in different territories, where Creature Commandos is part of the DCU, but it doesn't really kick it off, whereas Superman is really the proper kickoff.
Groovy.
But we'll see. Because there's a couple of characters that carry over. Anyway, that's besides the point. We'll see in the future what happens. Can't wait for tonight. Oh my god, I can't wait for tonight. And just want to shout out Toronto Blue Jays. Booyah. Good shit. Yeah.
Wicked.
Brandon, I don't know if you're a baseball fan at all. We've never talked about it. I know Josh hates baseball.
No, I actually like watching baseball. I just don't really follow a team that closely. I guess I could pretend to be a Yankees fan being in New York, but that just feels cheap. And I can't really pretend to be an A's fan because, like, that's just pity at this point. You know? And I would never debase myself and be a Giants fan because I have a love-hate relationship with San Francisco. But
fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like watching baseball. I don't really have a team I follow exactly.
Fair enough. Well, the Jays are always welcome to new fans.
Russell thinks really that the Jays are always open to OnlyFans, apparently.
There was a popular like comedy T-shirt going around the Greater Toronto area for most of Southern Ontario for a while in the 2010s, and it said 1 BJ is better than 9 Yanks.
Jeez.
I always thought that one was funny.
That's funny.
There has to be one really good BJ.
That BJ?
Take that as you will.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah, well, sure he's not good as the current Yankees lineup. You think he could live up to Aaron Judge? I don't think so.
I think he did.
I've seen Aaron Judge's hand.
I think there's no way that
he actually had better stats in the series.
I actually don't know. I couldn't say.
He had a home run in every game. I don't think Aaron Judge did.
Yeah, he did.
Really?
No.
Yeah, wait. Actually,
I have no idea.
I don't know what Aaron Judge's batting average is, but I could check.
I think it's around 500. I just saw the stats like 2 days ago.
I can't get
There's
into
like
watching.
3 games are ranked of like this season of best average. There are 3 Jays, second, third, and fourth, and Aaron Judge is like 6th.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
I realize you guys had so many heavy hitters. What the fuck?
Yeah, neither did I. And Vladdy's only number 3. I thought he'd be the first. But it's besides the point. That's enough sports talk. We're here to talk one thing and one thing only. Comic books. Superior.
You can't say one thing and one thing only when we talk about a shitload of stuff first.
Is there a baseball comic?
Have
they done that yet? I'm reading a manga right now about baseball, but have they done a
Any of
baseball
the-
comic like in the States?
I don't think so.
Someone has to have done that, right?
I mean, Google baseball comic book.
Yeah. Now I'm curious.
But if you do that, you could be swimming right into an ocean of a million results, dude.
Oh, but these are just like tie-ins.
Yeah.
Just like the tie-ins.
The Klingons?
Yeah, not
There's
really.
gotta be
That's
like
so
if you go
weird.
back to like more fun comics and shit, certainly
Oh, there's
there's
probably
baseball
Well, yeah,
comics
about
that-
Little League or something.
I'm seeing a lot of stuff from like I assume like the 60s, maybe 50s, you know, like the grocery store comic kind of stuff. There's a Pete Rose comic. Can't imagine who would want that.
I'm sure
Yeah,
there's plenty of
no.
people.
But I'm thinking like not a comic based on a real life baseball player, just a comic about baseball.
Right. Now that I think about it,
Yeah,
I think in the
that's-
90s there was like the Junior Jays had like a little fun comic book
Yeah.
about the Blue Jays. But that was it. And it was
That's
just like
wild.
for like kids that went to the baseball game and got this little comic book.
I'm thinking like actually, are there any like good sports comics?
I don't think
Have either of
so.
you guys read Slam Dunk?
you know
the manga?
what? I read
Yeah.
one. I
Like,
had a
what
couple.
would be like? I was like, what would be the equivalent of that? Is there one?
I had a
American,
couple
I
of
don't
friends
think so.
recommend one to me a while ago from Darren Warren Johnson.
Yeah.
Do a power bomb.
Oh, well,
And
yeah.
that counts as far as I'm concerned, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that one was fucking terrific. But if
I
we're talking
swear,
team
like
sports,
a
combat
while
sports.
ago, like a while ago. Shit, it might be in the late '90s. I swear I read one that was, like, it was football, but it was like battle football. Like you could fuck up the other players.
Comics about sports.
Interesting.
Is that really not a thing? I
Well,
just never
there's
thought
an
about it
avenue.
until you were like, let's talk about something more fun. And I was like, oh yeah, definitely. But like, is there
There's got to be a crossover.
is there a comic about that thing too? Does such a
Yeah.
thing exist?
I mean,
No?
historically, sports fans and comic fans have not really meshed well.
That feels like such an untapped market, though.
It does. Manga has succeeded with it because there's a lot of great sports manga. So maybe there's an avenue for American sports comics.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. I'll put a pin in that.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm seeing a couple that aren't like about a specific person. One is called A Map to the Sun from Sloan Leong. Check Please is about hockey. That first one, basketball. Check Please is hockey. There's Dragon Hoops from Gene Luen Yang.
Gene Luen Yang.
Oh yeah.
That one I know. Yeah. But these are all, I mean, not that they don't count, but I'm like, these are all like graphic novels. And I'm like, wouldn't it be fun if you had like a monthly book that was like, I don't know, fucking boxing or baseball or something. And it was, I don't know. I don't want to rip anything off, but I'm like, I can't believe no one has tried to rip that off. If I'm being honest, you know, with how popular some of these ones are.
Yeah.
I guess maybe there's fence. I did fencing in high school, and I'm asking if it's a sport.
It is a sport.
I guess. Yeah.
I doubt there's a comic about fencing.
Well, that's the one I was. There's a comic called Fence from I think it's CM Picot. I don't know if that's still ongoing, but Yeah, or CS Picard, or how, I don't know how you say it. That's the only other one I can think of.
Southern Bastards by Jason Aaron.
That is not a sports book. It has an arc. It has it no. It has an arc where they focus on
the football team.
Coach, yeah, but like it's really more about the drop, because it what's his name, Coach something. So
Earl
bad with
Tubb.
names. No. Earl Tubb dies in the first volume.
Well,
he is killed by the guy they flash back to, whose name I'm forgetting right now. But yeah, no, it's that one's more focused on like the personal drama. It's like you really uses sports more as a backdrop.
I just found, looking this up, I just found a book that I absolutely have to read.
I'm like, why? Jason Aaron loves football. I know this. He brings up Bama in like every interview. Why hasn't he done that? That feels so obvious. I feel like, no, actually, you know what? Oh my god, I don't want to give my ideas away, but I'm like, wouldn't it be funny? Because I know Jason Aaron's gonna be at New York Comic Con. I'm like, you should really write a football book, and he's like, I really should. And then a year from now, he writes a football book, and I'm like, that's me. I'll take credit for that. Where's my check?
Do it.
I should, but no. I honestly, I'd rather do it myself.
Well, tell
How
them,
have
like,
I not read this?
If you break in, just like, if you have ideas for a football comic, I have ideas for a football comic. Let's collaborate.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Hey, hit me up.
We could do a whole sports universe, you know.
I don't know that I'm the most qualified person to talk about football, but you know, I know enough.
Yeah.
I can get better.
I think the problem is with that, and this will be the last thing I say about it, is because we really should get into the books. I think the problem is a lot of comic companies will start to think about brand recognition. Like, they'll want to include a team or a player, and that means licensing fees, that means contracts, that means all sorts of legal shit they got to worry about, and like getting people to agree to stuff, and like who do they contact, who do they work with. And they don't need to do that, but that's all they're going to think about, because they're going to think, if we're going to make the sell, there has to be brand recognition. That might be the problem.
I guess, yeah, I feel like the easy explanation to get over that is, what if we didn't? You know, what if we just use none of those teams? We don't even have to put any kind of like Nike logos or anything, you know, because that's why I'm like, if freaking iShield 21 can get away with it,
right?
Why can't we? I mean, I think they used Riddell helmets, but you know, they weren't playing against the New York Giants or something.
Yeah. Like, there's that. There's was it the basketball manga with Slam Dunk, I think. There's Haikyuu. There was one about Othello, for crying out loud.
Kuroko's basketball. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, is like, why hasn't anyone ripped this off? That feels so obvious.
Guys,
I need to know the answer. Someone surely has thought about this.
Who is this?
Why do you sound like Heath Ledger's Joker? In that same voice, can you say, why so serious?
Why so serious?
Oh God. Yeah. It's there.
It's there.
Do you want to know how I got these scars?
Let me show you a trick. I can make a pencil disappear.
My mind is like on fire right now with all the ideas.
If
it could work, if you could really make it.
You're ignoring me. It hurts my feelings.
I'm waiting for you to say something. You said you found something.
Yeah, I know. You're like,
back in 2020. Fucking Steve Orlando and Philip Kennedy Johnson wrote a book together.
Interesting.
Oh.
It's called Kill a Man. Wow. Holy shit. And I can't believe I've never heard of this before, and I'm so disappointed, and wow.
That sounds familiar. Did I read that? Is that about sports? Because
it's about MMA. It's about an MMA character. Yeah, it's all takes place in MMA.
Oh, okay. No, I have not read that.
In the early days of MMA, kickboxer icon DJ Belli is beaten to death in the ring after he yells a homosexual slur at an opponent while his young son James watches in horror from the stands. 16 years later, James is an MMA star in his own right, etc., leaving out a whole bunch. He's outed as gay by an opponent in a press conference and loses his title shot, his fans, his team, even his family. To fight his way back, he turns to the only one left in the world willing to train him, the man who killed his father.
Oof.
Is that a series or the format?
I just found it in graphic novel paperback.
Oh, okay.
Trade, I guess.
Yeah, that's like, bro, why? I mean, probably not as well known at that point in 2020, but or at least Philip Kennedy Johnson wasn't. But I'm like that. Yeah, man. Why is there not more of that? You know,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's rated a 4.6 on Amazon too. There should why is it?
I don't buy. Rob, I totally hear what you're saying, but I'm like, obviously I don't have a ton of friends. No one likes me, but like I have met a number of people who are like, yeah, I love comics, but I fucking watch the Giants or the Yankees or whatever, and I'm like, the market's right there.
Yeah.
I'm like, you like both of these things. What if they were together? Would you read a book like that? Like, I want to run a controlled experiment to see if that would work. Because I feel like there is a lot of
on that. You want to run a controlled experiment? You find about 4 hot dog vendors. You find about 4 hot dog vendors outside of a Yankees game, and you tell them that you want to give away 1 issue of your comic book with every hot dog purchase until you run out.
Oh well, that's a given.
And that's how you.
They're probably going to use the.
That's how you promote.
Probably going to use the comic to store the hot dog. You know?
And don't do it outside of a Yankees game because there's nobody there now.
Oh yeah.
Hey-o. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you know, actually, why am I being?
You know what I mean. I feel like that would be like an excellent way to market a sports comic book and potentially get sports fans to read it.
Probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I know. I'm a fucking genius.
I'm gonna run with this. Because you know what? The other thing too is like, we can come back to this because I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole. But yeah, there's a lot of possibility there. I should like to pursue this.
Yeah. Get into it.
I wonder if I should make. Would it count if I made Skyline almost like a Dude Perfect kind of solo guy?
I think you should stick with the superhero thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously, but that's how, like,
in personality, yeah, totally.
How have that be how he gets money.
Oh yeah, it could be like sort of what Youngblood was trying to do. Maybe he's like a video creator, content creator, not like obnoxious.
No, but kind of what Booster was doing the last time.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I see what you mean by the Dude Perfect thing, where it's like crazy trick shot, kind of thing. Like I could honestly, that's a hell of a pitch. Maybe it's like
aerobics and
superheroing. Yeah, it's like superheroing to him is more of a performance, and then because you love the darkness more than the darkness of the darkness, it takes a bit of a turn. Like, oh shit, now it's serious. Skyline. This isn't posting a trick shot on YouTube. This is like fighting a villain for real. How do you handle that? I don't want to write your story for you.
Writing a note down on my desktop. That's how I handle it.
Twist. Well, that also sounds like Radiant Black in the early issues.
Hey, fuck off.
Yeah,
it's not Radiant Black though. Damn it.
I guess kind of what Radiant Black would become, sort of. Yeah. I can't remember if it was Marshall that was really more of like the online guy.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's time to get into the books. It's 7 o'clock.
All right.
Yeah, we went for a real long swim.
Yeah.
Speaking of swims, here's Aquaman number 10, brought to us by Rob.
Yes, this is Aquaman number 10, Lost and Found, written by Jeremy Adams, with art from John Timms, colors from Rex Locus and Matt Herms, and letters from Dave Sharp. We open up on, excuse me, Andrina swimming somewhere in the ocean, coming across a sunken pirate ship where she finds a skull with an eye patch over it, touches it, and it starts to shimmer and lightning glows out of it. And that's the last we see of that until Aquaman is in the ocean in another place outside the Nautilus while his team is just doing their thing and he's just listening. His powers, thanks to the blue, have like tripled, just exponentially grown. He can hear things across the ocean. He feels like this may be what Superman feels like because he can hear things and it's hard to drown it out sometimes. But this is also when he hears a ship, I think it's a US Navy ship, getting attacked by this same pirate ship that Andrina was nearby, 5 miles off the shore of Coast City. The team heads straight there to find these skeleton pirates attacking the Navy ship, and they come right in, attacking the hell out of these skeleton pirates, doing whatever they can to get rid of them. Excuse me. Orion has a way to do it using magic to cancel out the dark magic that is bringing them to life. He just touches them with some kind of sigil and is able to just make them fall apart. So Arthur uses all of his aquakinesis matched up with his power from the blue, kind of water spouting them into the sigil that Orion has cast and gets rid of most of them, except the captain and a few other crew members escape with the ship and head straight onto Coast City's dry land as the captain is looking for his buried treasure. And it's still somehow sailing down the street on dry land. Really weird. Arthur and crew arrive where the ship is as the captain and his crew members are digging into the, I guess, pavement at this point to pretty much exactly where he left his buried treasure. As Andrina arrives, takes care of the crew members and the captain, and takes the buried treasure as she says she needs it for what is to come ahead. So this whole thing was started by her. She hides as Arthur arrives to try and figure out what the hell happened. Sees the pile of bones left behind, the hole in the ground, and figures this is where he was looking for. What was he digging for? Andrina hides away, far away from the preening eyes of her father and his friends. And that is where issue ends. Next issue, countdown to DCKO. And Escape from Atlantis. Dun. So, interesting little reprieve from somewhat of an ongoing story, but still giving us an ongoing story at the same time. It was an interesting little thing. Andrina's got some stuff up her sleeve, and I really hope she's not being villainous. I hope that's just a patsy, because I really like the idea of this grown-up Andy being around her father, and I can't wait for the day that Mira and the Atlanteans are able to escape from Atlantis, and Arthur gets reunited with them, because we all know that's going to happen eventually. But that's for the future. So they do tease that in this issue early on, because they're able to teleport to Zebel, and I imagine we'll see that next issue. So that's exciting, and yeah, that's about all I have. It's just a pirate romp. That's what this issue mostly is. Like 80% of it's just like swashbuckling adventure. So if that's your jam, you're gonna like this issue. Yeah. Very Pirates of the Caribbean style. Right. So it's just a fun little issue. You get to see Aquaman doing his thing with his friends, and it's fun. 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, this is I don't know. Like I'm trying to say this in a non-insulting way, but like this was just like pure cheesy superhero fun.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a sucker for that, as we've established. Like I enjoy some schlock, even when I try to be pretentious. And like as soon as the pirates showed up and they were like avast me hearties and all this other stuff, I was like, yeah, okay, all right, I'm down with that. So it's just it's literally just Aquaman taking down some ghost pirates, and you get a little bit of a tease of a mystery of Andrina collecting the mysterious treasure at the end. What it is, who knows? I suspect she may have some ideas of how to contact the Atlanteans, but that could be a completely wild guess. But the meat of the issue,
for that,
or the cheese of the issue, rather, was just a lot of fun. And I don't know. Like, I kind of hope after the whole overarching "Where is Atlantis" story is done, and once we're past the DCKO stuff, like they can have a few more just classic Aquaman romps in these. So 8 point. Just do 8 out of 10 actually. Well, I already said the point, so I'll give it an 8.25 out of 10. Okay, you forced my hand.
It's like I've committed to it. Damn it! All right,
I have to do it.
I said it. I can't take it back.
Me and everybody else that's enjoying this run is wondering what Andrina is up to with that box. This, I think, was more of a transitional issue. It was a romp. It was a pirate romp. And how dare you for saying "Avast me hearties" without using a pirate accent, Brandon?
Debase myself like that.
Oh, you think I debased myself?
But some of these lines, oh my god. Even if I'm not gonna say it, because I put too much stock in my pride, you can't not read it like in your head and do the pirate accent. Like it literally says, "Enough of this tripe, ye be standing in the way of me real purpose, and it be time to get to it." You can't not read that in a pirate accent. You just can't.
Time to get to it.
It is so ridiculous.
I'm genuinely surprised nobody said landlubber at one point.
Oh, that's when you go
that is surprising.
But I myself, I think this is a transitional issue. Yeah, it was a little bit of a pirate romp, but it was to set up whatever is coming with Andrina, which is going to keep us enticed and coming back to the Aquaman book after his involvement with DCKO. I continue to enjoy the hell out of this. Atlantis being hidden makes all the questions we had about what's up with Atlantis making sense. The art's fantastic. We're shown Arthur is really close, if not on par, to Superman, and we're shown Andrina might not be a hero. Bringing the dad back to find ye old booty. You know, I love this book because she was the one that did it. The pirate said that she was the one that brought them back.
Yeah.
So she knew about whatever it was that was hidden there long before that pavement was laid down. I love the book and the art that's in it. It's got me pretty curious. 8 out of 10 myself.
Right on.
Now we move on over to another treasure.
Yeah. Fly on over to the Quiet Man.
Fly. Two.
It's actually
I wouldn't say this is a romp in the same way that Aquaman was, but it's certainly a fun time. Or at least I had a fun time. Batman number 26, written by Phil Kennedy Johnson, with art by Fico Ocio, colors by Marcelo Maiolo, letters by Steve Wands, and a cover from Batman favorite Tony Daniel, with colors by Romulo Fajardo Jr. I said Batman favorite, but this cover is a little weird. Something about the scale of the Quiet Man.
Yeah, it's a little big.
Yeah, Jinx. Yeah, like Bane size. Just seemed a little awkward. I don't know if it's the perspective.
I think it's perspective, like because Batman's supposed to be like behind him. He's yanking Batman back as he's got his fist raised. That's what it looks like to me, because his leg is
kind of pushing him. It's a little weird. The perspective is a little weird, but yeah.
Also, the way he's posed and with the way his jacket's floating, you could very easily Photoshop him out and put Superman in with the exact same pose.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
is
true.
sort of a generic large figure pose. Anyway, this issue begins with the Quiet Man. We're introduced. Did we get his last name? Psy something. Anyway,
Spurrier.
listening to.
I be ya.
It's the Quiet Man that wrote the Flash.
Yeah, I wish it was more quiet whilst writing the Flash. Listening to reports on the fire at the Iceberg Lounge, which coincidentally at the same time, Batman and Robin are investigating. Batman is really trying to cut to the chase while Penguin is complaining about Batman's lack of concern with the place. But Batman, of course, is looking more at the clues and realizing that it's not just some random figure, but someone who's very methodical in the way that they attack this place. Leaving Penguin to deal with the rest of his stuff, just kind of storms off, but not before accusing Penguin of knowing who is responsible about this, basically just saying, don't get in my way as I do what I need to do. Of course, Batman has something else up his sleeve, naturally, as we find out later in the Batcave when they're doing some training and Bruce is examining the coin, looking at just the make of it and realizing that it is a much older model, but also we find out that he had placed some kind of listening device at the Iceberg Lounge and is now aware of a meeting that Oswald has arranged with Two-Face to talk about something that concerns this particular arsonist. We cut over to this meeting place, the Asher Estate, where Batman and Robin are having a stakeout. Robin at one point, Batman at another. Nothing is happening just yet, but as Robin is reporting into Batman, he has a chance encounter with the young fellows calling themselves the Gotham Irregulars, who show up basically to just offer him some food and, I don't know, catch up and chat, and also ask for those ninja lessons that were promised back in the previous arc. We cut over to Oswald and Two-Face, who are discussing the nature of the whole Iceberg Lounge incident. Oswald, of course, recognizing the fact that he left the silver dollars in their eyes, and of course, Two-Face is at least drawing a connection to a previous heist that has to do with Falcone. But just at that moment, who should arrive but the Quiet Man? And they're, of course, quick to lash out. But things are going fast south, and as Damian is giving lessons to his friends, realizes that things have begun to escalate, heads over there and immediately tries to shut things down, but is able to at least get in the way for a moment before Batman arrives as well to take down the Quiet Man. But of course, they're not completely successful and manages to, or at least the Quiet Man manages to get away before they can properly identify him, or at least I think so. But not before Batman recognizes something about the nature of the crimes and the pattern that at least leads him to the identity of the person that he's looking to find. Seeing that the silver dollars, Two-Face Penguin, and a particular reference he made to the person who killed his son, draws the conclusion that the person behind this, the person the Quiet Man is trying to kill, is none other than Arnold Wesker, aka the ventriloquist. So we have our reveal. Pretty exciting. I would say this is very much just like a standard, I don't know the word I'm looking for, like continuing chapter. It just kind of deepens the mystery, but I feel like next issue we're going to get a little bit more insight as to what the ventriloquist had to do with his whole origin and why he's pissed and everything like that. But it's just another solid mystery. I don't know. I don't have too many notes about this one other than just like I'm interested in seeing where it's going. And I like that they're able to draw this really kind of interesting connection between Penguin and Two-Face and their sort of history. So looking forward to where that goes. I also very much like the new dynamic that Bruce and Damian have at this moment, carrying over from the previous issue. So it's just very solid stuff. And I give this an 8.5 out of 10. Also have to say, Damian's suit, still not a huge fan, but it's growing on me. Very slowly, it's growing on me.
I would say this issue, Damian's suit kind of fully grew on me. I found myself really enjoying the design in this issue throughout. It was weird seeing Damian in those colors specifically in that way. But it kind of suits him with his modern day persona, like how how he is now and the character development he's gone through, I kind of dig it. He's become more of a Robin like the other Robins have been, as opposed to the dark, brooding, I'm like better than all of you, cocky son of a bitch that he always used to be.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, I it's kind of growing on me a lot. I just have one question though. So the story is fantastic. I'm really liking the Quiet Man stuff. But who the hell thought it was a good idea to put Wesker in a doll making class?
It's a trade he's familiar with. Maybe they thought, I don't know, might be able to put it to some good use.
Yeah, just like if he's
These,
gone through therapy
psychologists
at
have no idea.
Arkham, and you know his history with Scarface, you're like, the last thing we want to do is put him anywhere near puppets.
But also,
let's
this could
have him
just
make
be
his
like
own.
this could also just be like some random Gotham crafting class.
That could be, yeah.
It may not be mandated. He's just be like, I just wanted to show up, and then did, and is gonna make another Scarface.
Oh, I just let the wood tell me what it wants me to do. Okay, yeah, all right.
Although something I've always wondered, because like Wesker is aware of the diagnosis that other people have treated him with, like the whole, personality disorder and everything. When a Scarface puppet dies, does he like believe that Scarface is dead? And when he makes a new one, is it him bringing it back to life?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's the idea, is that the spirit of Scarface died until he gets a new body.
Well, like, does he know that it's like, oh, I'm making a new one and I'm gonna embody the role, or is it like I'm bringing him back to life and I'm bringing his soul back into his body or something?
So it's like he's bringing him back to life.
We've not seen that at all, but I think it's
a Graham Morrison story.
I think it's possible that we may see something akin to it here.
Yeah,
that's not outside the realm of the possibility with this creative team by any stretch.
Yeah.
I almost hope they don't do that, because that's an idea I want to rip. Like, I want to write that line that's like, every time I make a new doll, I'm breathing new life back into Mr. Scarface. I am his phoenix, and I birth him back into the world, or something like that.
That sounds like a line from Wesker if he was like the main villain of some giant Batman mystery.
Yeah.
You could make it happen, Brandon.
Put that one in the vault. Put that in the vault if I do.
This is getting 8.75 out of 10 from me, and I will be right back.
You're fired.
And you, Josh?
I think it was really interesting. A story about the ventriloquist, if done right, can be freaking fantastic. The Quiet Man, though not really truly identified. We basically know who he is. Old man John Wick, but someone killed his son, not his dog. You'd thought they'd have learned better after 4 movies. And the dynamic that Bruce and Damian need to work out. I mean, yeah, they decided that they wanted more normalcy, but being able to do their job as they expect to, and having that life outside of the mask, it may not be quite as achievable as they thought, because it's causing them to slip already. And more regulars, woohoo! I love that and hope that we get to see a lot of them. I hope that I hope that we see a lot more of them. Even after Kennedy decides to leave the book eventually. This is good stuff right here. And I give it an 8.5 out of 10. And that is going to push me right on over to Action Comics, written by Mark Waid.
Yes, and this cover, oh my God.
Ooh, spoiler alert.
Captain Comic fans eating good.
Yeah, that is done well. Written by Action Comics 1091, written by Mark Waid, art illustrated by Skylar Patridge, with colors from Ivan Placencia, letters from Steve Wands, and a cover from Ryan Sook. Picking up from where we left off, Superboy is being arrested by General Lane in the U.S. Army, except not. He makes an escape, up, and away. I like how they work that into the dialogue there. Uh, he goes to school the next day to confront Adam Blake, and after dealing with a Braverman bullying session, he does. He lays out what he knows, and then he figures out the rest as he's talking. Adam Blake is sick with an alien disease that cannot be cured on Earth, and he's been losing his powers for years. He's got no chance at living, so he's here to teach Clark everything he can while he can. There's potentially a cure out there somewhere in the stars, but he's resigned himself to his fate, and Clark just isn't having that. Uh, Adam Blake has a ship, but no fuel to launch it. Once in space, however, he can travel. So he offers to take Blake to space so that he can live, or at least search out the possibility for doing so. Blake only does so after Clark passes one final test about forcing people to do something they don't want to do out of love. Off goes Captain Comet. Next up, showdown. I'm assuming with the U.S. Army. So first, this was a good issue in the arc. It doesn't mess up continuity too much more, at least not yet. Yeah, art's awesome. I really want to see more of Patridge. Big fan of there. However, when Clark comes home and says that he was almost arrested, a character called Ma Kent, when Superman was 15 years old, got on Google to see if it was legal to arrest him. I mean, I thought that was a little fucked up.
Well, but I'm confused. Is that because Google wouldn't exist, or?
Well, yeah, I'm figuring Superman's what, like my age, right? He's in his 40s, yeah.
Not anymore.
Oh, he's in his 30s now.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, yeah, but
that's weird. That's weird that he'd be in his 30s and have a 20-something-year-old kid.
That's what I was like, maybe, but also I don't know, because it's funny that you say that, because it's like that for everyone now. Like I remember when Chip Zdarsky was doing Spectacular, and they had that time travel story, and he goes back in the past, and Peter's talking about like his computers or something. He's like, wait a minute, I guess, yeah, he's sliding timeline and all that. He would be old enough for that to be the case, or young enough for that to be the case. So sorry to burst your bubble.
Just barely, but yeah, okay. Well, still, like I said, it wasn't bringing the book down for me at all. I laughed at it. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah,
seeing Superboy, you know, having an issue, and Ma Kent Googling the fucking problem. That was fucking funny. But ultimately, honestly, I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, knowing Mark Waid and knowing Birthright very well, having a more tech savvy Ma Kent is not like totally unfamiliar, because that was what was kind of funny to me, where it was like throughout that book he'd just be trading emails with her, and she's like, oh yeah, you know, good luck, Clark, or whatever. Or is like, hey mom, traveling the world, and she's like, oh yeah, cool, be safe, be rational, like all that thing, like totally just online. I thought that was kind of funny, but a good twist.
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, I think that this book was absolute dog shit. Rob, what did you think of Action?
I don't believe you. This was actually one of my favorite issues of Action Comics of recent times.
That's why I said that.
Yeah, you remember I said that in on Discord. It was like kind of warming in a way. It was heartfelt. It kind of proved that Captain Comet is not the giant dickhead we thought he was, and he really is out there looking out for Clark and like trying to help him be the best hero he possibly can be. Maybe in not the best way, but definitely the toughest way, and it certainly freaking helped.
I don't even think it was quite the toughest way. I think it was the most efficient way, with Comet knowing that he was running out of time.
Yeah, but I
So
mean, he
he's like,
literally
throw
made
everything into the
Clark an
fire.
enemy of the United States Army. Like,
Put him up, you know, to the
that's
point.
pretty fucking tough.
Well,
That's
I
what I
mean,
mean. But
you know
yeah,
what I mean. I don't think he was
yeah,
like doing it to be tough. I think he was doing it
no,
because it needed to happen. And
yeah,
like it was like a
Yeah.
let's get all this shit out the way, son.
exactly. And
Also,
it was kind of
why
brilliant.
why is Captain Comet one of the few comic book characters that I have to call by their full name in either form? It's always I noticed this while I was writing out my shit that I always have to call him Captain Comet or Adam Blake. I never just
Because
call him Adam or Blake or Comet.
he's not as well known as other characters, so it might just be subconscious on
Yeah.
your end. Just for our listeners that might not know Captain Comet or this is pseudonym Adam Blake too well, just saying, Blake, they were like, the fuck is Blake? Whereas if you say Peter, you're talking about Spider-Man, or you say Clark, you're talking about Superman, or you're talking about Adams, like who?
Could be Captain Adam.
Yeah.
Could be
Perhaps
the
that's what
Adam.
it is.
You know,
Okay.
Adam
Mystery
Warlock, Adam Strange.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
There's so many Adams out there. Yeah.
Adam
Get
X.
right.
No one cares about that.
There's
You're
also
scratching the bottom of the barrel now.
Yeah.
Go Get Adam and whoop their ass.
Anyway, I give Action Comics a 9 out of 10.
Right on.
Yeah.
And what
It's
do
a
you
lot
give
of
us
fun.
for the core?
I actually put that score at the wrong spot. Well, you see. Well, this is Starbreaker Supremacy Part 6, Green Lantern Corps number 9. This is the finale of the crossover. This is written by Morgan Hampton and Jeremy Adams with pencils from Fernando Pazarin, inks from Claire Albert, and
A lot of people.
Adriano Di Benedetto and Daniel Henrique. Colors from Arif Prianto, Matt Herms, Lee Loveridge, and Trish Mulvihill, and letters from Dave Sharp. With the cover from Pazarin, Albert, and Prianto.
You've gone way too deep into comics when it's getting to the point where it's like I can pick out each of the colors in this book and I know exactly who did it.
Right.
That's what I was like I've gone too far. I've gone too far. Like the moment it got to we'll get to it later, but like there's a moment where well, I don't spoil it, but I knew exactly who it was. I knew it was Trish Mulvihill because I have seen her colors on Eduardo Risso stuff so much. The moment it hit, I was like, I know. It's got to be you. And then I went back to the credits. I was like,
What's up, Trish?
Yeah.
Thank you, Trish.
I'm too far gone. So
say it with me, Rob. Thank you, Trish.
Everyone is like, oh, I really want to get into comics. Like, where should I start? And I'm like, don't. You should. You really shouldn't. Because like,
don't start reading comics. What if you care?
I was like, don't end up like me. Where you're like, I know what letter that is. I know what colorist it is. I can break it down, but don't do that. Go out and have an interesting life. Like, don't end up like me, please.
You do something like this, you're gonna end up fucking reading. You're gonna be spending money on shit. You're gonna always have an answer when somebody says, "What should I get you?" You don't want to.
Not even just that. It's just like it just gets to the point where you become like literally a repository of useless knowledge.
Not useless to comic fans. And Brandon, my dear sir, you are my librarian.
Perhaps, but even I don't know. It sometimes it gets to the point where there are other people who are just like, "Damn, do you go outside?" It's like I do sometimes.
How the fuck you think I get to the comic book shop?
Very well.
I kind of get my physical copies somehow.
Right?
What, do you think I order them in the mail like a pleb? Fuck.
Hell no.
Which I've done.
Green Lantern.
Yes.
Green Lantern number 9
is a lot. There's a lot happens because in a short amount of time. So bear with me. The Interceptor, it's on its way to Oa as John's ring with his mother's AI pipes up saying something is wrong. The power connecting John and myself has been severed. as they arrive on Oa and see all sorts of lights shining from one central point. As they realize the other 6 power batteries have been lit, they land to find lanterns of all colors present, as their closest friends give them bad news that John sacrificed himself to have these lanterns be lit, using all his power in the Godstorm. And just as that happens, the Starbreaker core descends on Oa, so the lanterns of all colors get ready for a fight. They set a protective bubble around the power batteries, as everybody else that's not protecting the batteries heads off into the skies to take the fight straight to the core, the Starbreakers. It is a tough fight in all directions, people dying left, right, and center, including one Red Lantern in particular. His ring goes off in search of a new host as Razor begins to feel the rage coming towards him. He gives his green ring to Aya as they profess their love for each other once more. Okay, let's.
She's like, "Go get him, Daddy."
Let's take the Alabama down a notch, please. Anyway, the red ring slips onto Razor's finger and it becomes a red lantern once again, which brought a big ass smile to my face.
And Rob said, "Go get him, Daddy." Oh.
You're making me hate this. This is hard to do now. If you don't say Daddy Darkseid during our review of DCKO, there's something wrong. Anyway, we also see John's sister Ellie in construct form with a blue ring, which lends even further questions as to the question of whether she's actually alive or not, is able to use the blue ring with the help of Saint Walker, encouraging her. Hope has come back to the universe once again, and it's a beautiful little moment. And as this fight is progressing, the main Starbreaker that we know of as Starbreaker begins to realize that he is able to absorb the lantern energy straight out of the rings. Any construct that the lanterns use on the Starbreakers, they can absorb into their bodies and feed on it to give themselves energy, which gives them the upper hand. They are kind of making headway now as the Guardians of Oa wake up and get a lot of their memories back. And I'll be honest, I'm a little fuzzy as to how that happened, but they realize what it is they have to do to stop the Starbreakers. They get to the central batteries and power them up, unleashing all sorts of emotional spectrum energy into the sky above it. They head basically signaling the Starbreaker core to head towards the batteries and absorb as much energy as possible. And they cannot deny it. It is too much. And they're like moths to a flame. They head straight towards it and get sucked into the central batteries, where they will have an endless supply of energy to feast on for all of eternity. And it will satiate their hunger. They will not be bothering the Lantern cores ever again. By the end of all that, if you remember, Simon was locked in some unknown location with Krona's gauntlet. As Krona was kind of in his mind, he wakes up to see Krona's gauntlet downloading consciousness about 90% completed, as he says this can't be good, so he destroys the kind of spire that the gauntlet was placed upon. He gets freed from wherever that location was, and the gauntlet speaks out with a voice. Speaks out with a voice to say that I might not have been able to finish downloading my consciousness, but I still have the body that I desired. Might not be complete, but it is patterned after your greatest hero. I am reborn. Krona's mind lives on within the body of a very disfigured Hal Jordan. Very creepy. And finally, in that epilogue to this grand story, the Lanterns are celebrating, also still reminiscing about John and missing their friend, as we see a Green Lantern ring may or may not be John's Green Lantern ring, heads out into the dark sectors, a term we have not heard in a few years now.
That was
Heads towards
definitely
a
John's ring.
little farm as we see John Stewart and Katma Tui. They're wondering what the fuck is happening as the ring says it's time to come home. And if y'all are confused, you have to read the run that shall not be named. And I'm sorry.
But
that's what happened.
There's other runs that shall not be named. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but they know what I'm talking about.
So,
yes,
your
crazy shit.
Brandon Brandon's having difficulties. Oh, there he is.
There we go.
He's back.
I was getting pissed.
You're trying to get back in and it was giving you issues?
Yeah. Well, I was getting pissed and I was about to start throwing accusations because I just transferred the internet to my roommate and I was like, "Do you not pay? I told you to."
Oh shit.
But it looks like we're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. Okay, all good.
Okay, I just finished the.
It's like before I started yelling at people.
Right.
So yeah, I just finished the synopsis. Mentioned the last page with John in the dark sectors. I've been meaning to fact check that it is Kat Matui, not just one of the people that John was working with during that whole escapade in the dark sectors.
Definitely looks like Kat Matui.
It definitely looks like Kat Matui.
Her having prosthetic legs makes it more likely that it's Kat Matui. Remind me again, was she like slashed at the torso by Star Sapphire?
Don't remember.
Okay, because I feel like that's what happened.
That's his wife, right?
Well, yes. Previously was this version of Katma. Who fucking knows, right?
Well, it looks as though they like John went. Okay, so
John went looking for Katma in the dark sectors,
like
because these planets were from hypertime, but it wasn't explicitly stated what time frame these planets came out of. He had an inkling that Katma was out there somewhere, but it's unsure what period of time Katma. Yeah, we just don't know what period of time Katma came out of, whether it was during a time when they were together or before they met, or
from a different universe.
Well, it's from hypertime. It's definitely from this universe, just shards of time that splintered apart, right?
Yeah. Although again, this is sort of why I'm assuming it's the post-death Kat Matui because she has the prosthetic legs. It could be from a different timeline. I know hypertime is weird that way, but if we're assuming this is the main timeline, then yeah, it stands to reason that it would be.
Yeah. So next issue, John is returning. I am kind of impressed that they're able to actually reference the dark sectors again and bring it back, because that is maybe one thing that came out of that story arc that I wasn't against. I thought it had potential. It was really interesting, and I'm happy they're bringing it back. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of bummed that the adventures we've seen, the John that we've been with the past couple of years, is just gone. So this John has no idea of what the fuck happened. So now he's gonna have to deal with his mom being dead in a ring AI. His sister is somehow alive as a construct and wearing a blue ring. What the fuck is going on in my life right now?
We're gonna call her the first living construct. I need you to get that straight right now.
The first living
construct. So this version of John
construct, because there are more that appear in the House of L.
Fair enough.
So this version of John doesn't know what happened?
Well, no, because
he's been gone.
Yeah, he has been in the dark sectors looking for Kat Matui. He hasn't been around since Jeffrey Thorne was writing the book.
Right.
So all the stuff that happened with during since then, Jeremy Adams took over Green Lantern, he has no clue what the fuck happened.
But this is a different John than the one that just died?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You remember back then there were two of them. One went to go look for his wife, and the other one went to Earth to the thing that I don't remember quite right is one of them was the Godhead, right?
Well, the Godhead is the one that died.
Okay.
He had the Godstorm energy.
And then
he's the one that went back to Earth. But I don't remember which one was the one from our timeline and which was the one from Hyper Time.
If I'm not mistaken, the one that is in the dark sector is the one that is from our timeline.
I think you might be right.
Oh boy, that's not confusing at all.
Yeah.
I just assumed it was John reborn on another world.
No,
means not expressed.
No, with the Jeffrey,
a lot more sense.
At the end of the Jeffrey Thorne run, we had Hyper Time John and regular John together, and then regular John was able to go look for his wife, while Godhead John stayed behind and defended the world because of the oncoming threat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what happened. So I'm impressed that they brought that whole plot thread back, and Kat Matsui is back, which is even more surprising.
And cool.
Boy, wouldn't this be an awkward time for Moraine to make a return as well, eh?
So are they gonna do a fusion at some point of the John who had the memories, who sacrificed himself, and the Hyper Time John? Because I'm like, this is.
I think it's gonna happen in the way of John's AI ring, with his mom.
Fill him in.
Fill him in or somehow like upload it to him, because that ring is capable of all kinds of shit.
But the John that we know is dead.
He's just dead now. Yeah.
Well, this is the John. This is technically the John that we know. The one that's been around for the last few months is the one from Hyper Time, and he's gone.
Yeah. He's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
And which explains why he was able to do things. Remember, this is why he was able to do things like create an illusion for his mother with the living construct of Ellie and do all of the different things that he was able to do.
Okay, help me the most basic way. So the John from War Journal, the one that we've been reading all this time, that's one from Hyper Time, is what you're saying.
Yes.
And the real John Stewart has been in the dark sector this whole time.
Yes.
Right. He went out looking for his wife and apparently found her, or at least half of her.
Wow, that kind of changes the way I look at that story, but all right.
Oh, that doesn't sound like it changes the way it looked in a good way. First, before
like,
that happens, and he shits
John
on my opinion.
Time, it's still a good story, don't get me wrong, but it's just kind of, I felt like it hit because it was the John that we knew getting a story that had that level of grandeur. But now you're telling me it's just an alternate version from Hyper Time.
I mean, but we knew that going in.
I didn't.
Well, you forgot. I can't believe
I still need to fact check it. I need to go back and read, issue 12 and Green Lantern the Emerald Knight, or John Stewart the Emerald Knight, whatever that one shot was called, just to confirm that that's what it was. But I'm pretty sure what Josh was saying is the case, of that the one that had the Godstorm abilities that died last issue is the one that was from Hyper Time.
Because he had to stay there because of what was coming. Whatever that was, whether or not Thorne knew what was in the cooker or not.
He had plans, but they all fell apart. He had plans up to 36 issues, and they just...
much easier to just say that John was reborn on another planet and brought his wife back, found his wife, or some kind of reasoning than there are two Johns, and the one that you've been reading about was a version of him who but is from Hyper Time, but also there's the real one has been in the dark sector this whole time. I'm like, what?
We don't necessarily know how. I'm just telling you what actually led up to this continuity wise. There's always a chance that Adams is not, though I believe he's the continuity hound. There's always a chance that Adams isn't going to pick up with that and may morph it into something different. But as it stands now, I do believe that is the case. It'll be really cool if that's not the case. But then that meant that our
I think I'm
John
just
is gone forever,
yeah.
and now we have this new John that we don't really care about.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, can't we just have our John, but also have Kat Matui?
Well,
That's
we
all
do.
I want. I'm not
We
asking
do.
for a lot.
We have our
Yeah,
John.
you
Simplify
do
it,
have your John.
We
This is
have our
John.
John. He just does. He
But
just
you're
hasn't
saying
been
that
around in a
the
few months.
John that I've been following for the past 2 years is maybe not the real John.
Right, but the John that you followed for all
confusing.
the years before that is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, look at it this way: they're both the real John.
Yeah.
Just
one of
they've
them's
been
gone
doing
now.
different things.
Don't make me get Harley's Vorpal fish out.
That's sort of like nah, I'm not gonna do another X-Men thing, but well, we'll see. We'll see. I hope
like
there's an
Madrox.
easy explanation for
Madrox and X Factor, because I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah. It's just like just say it's the original one. Like you don't have to overcomplicate it. No one cares.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, okay, so a few big things to come out of this. John is back again. Stewart's back. Tell a friend. And the 7 Lantern Corps are lit up again and back to full strength. The Guardians are back, also each one wearing a different colored lantern robe, if you will. Yeah. But they're also realistically back to full strength and acting as Guardians again.
Because they can remember everything.
They can remember everything. So essentially, it brought everything back to status quo.
But in a good way. Well, here, you finish your review before.
And Krona's back, albeit disfigured as Hal. I'm very curious to see where that's going to go now. I wasn't too happy about Krona being like kind of shoved into this story arc, but the fact that it's kind of just set up for stuff happening later on, I'm not too against it now. Because I felt the story arc was getting a little full with Starbreaker stuff. So yeah, it's Krona just being set up for stuff coming later down the line. I'm just curious now what's going to happen there. I'm excited to see that. And yeah, like you were saying, Josh, and I agree, the status quo is not necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of cleaning up the muddy waters a little bit, if you will, and getting us back to a Green Lantern status where we can comprehend it and understand it, and
it's easy for people to
happy with it. Yeah, it's not complicated, it's not over the top, it's not grandiose. It's bringing us back to a time when everyone liked it. So I'm okay with
some new ideas.
With some new ideas. Sinestro is still a green for now. We'll have to see what happens there.
We'll have to see what happens all the way around.
Yeah, and one thing I didn't get to point out, I think was last week, was Green Lantern number 26, when the 6 Corps were doing their oaths. The Yellow Lanterns very pointedly did not finish their oath with Sinestro's might. They said our might. Right. So they're not even recognizing as Sinestro Corps anymore.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's some big takeaways from this issue. I'm happy with it. I like the way it ended. Some might call it anticlimactic, but really the way it was building towards things is really the best way to do it. But also, I can't help but feel like this is a Parallax situation. I think they did it with the Black Lanterns as well. Parallax was in the green battery for a while, and now like every Starbreaker in existence is inside the central batteries. It just seems like the battery should get a bit cramped in there. No, like we'll have to see.
Yeah.
It's infinite in size, man.
So yeah, all in all, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because I really like the art throughout the issue, and I like the way some things ended up. I really do. I'm excited about the future of this book. I'll say it like that.
I wish I could feel the same way that you do, but while it is nice to have certain things back to a familiar status quo, I'm like, bro, what was that ending? This was not it. This was like, why are the Green Lanterns even here? They didn't do anything. That's why I keep laughing, because I'm like, this book should have been called The Guardians Save the Day at the last minute. The Green Lanterns kind of have a cool action shot and then don't do anything. And
that
even
would
Joe
make
is
it
like,
anime.
him or just like Joe or Guy. And I was like, Joe or Guy was like, did we, like, did we fix it? And it was like, well, I mean, for now, it's like, you didn't do anything. You fought them and they were really tough. And then the Guardians had a revelation and they were like, let's put a lure in the lantern and then they'll all flock to it and we'll trap them in it. Okay, done. I was like, that was like, you almost had me. And so I don't know. I'm starting to have mixed feelings about this run, because I'm like, it's very good at building up the hype, and it's like, oh fuck yeah, the lanterns are back. Like, I love certain moments, but it can't stick the landing, and I don't know why. It feels like it doesn't know how to wrap things up in a satisfying way. It's just like, oh, I don't really know what to do. The Guardians shove them in the lantern. Okay, let's do Krona now. Like, it's like that meme of Andy from Toy Story 2, where Jeremy Adams is just like, I don't want to play with this character anymore. I want to play with Krona now. You can go in the trash. You know, I'm done with the Starbreakers. Story's over. Let's play with Krona now. You know. So I don't know. I'm like, this is a tough book to rate, because yes, some nice character moments. Obviously, that double page spread of the Lanterns fighting the Starbreakers is great. But at the end of the day, I'm like, even if I was a relatively new reader to Green Lantern, I'd be like, what is the point of these guys? They didn't do anything. They didn't even really have any triumphant victory. They just kind of fought until they didn't have to anymore. So
right.
Yeah, I gotta give this one a 6 out of 10, honestly. Like, I'm harsher on this one just because I feel like it really did not live up to its potential, and it should have had a more satisfying ending for the core. You know what I mean? Like, let them have their moment to shine. Not just shine in the build up, but shine in the actual fight, you know? Think of something clever, I don't know. But just having the Guardians have a secret magic word or revelation and they're able to solve everything just kind of makes the whole core seem superfluous. So, yeah, I don't know. A bit disappointing, I gotta say. I don't know. I'm worried. I'm like, where is this book gonna go? Is it gonna continue to let me down?
I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum, but tis. I excuse me. I like what it's doing. I think that all of the lantern mythos is going back to somewhat of a going back to the status quo with some changes. There's Ellie and what's going to happen with that. On the cover, we see Ellie with the gauntlet on. Does that mean that she'll be getting that back? It did not get damaged during the whole attack when the hammer got swung on it. So it's still in play. There's all kinds of cool shit. 100% living construct, independent of John. Krona's out of the glove and turned into Toxie, the Lantern Avenger. The Guardians got their memories back. I know, I was pretty proud of myself on that one. As it stands, the Green Lanterns had two choices: let the Starbreakers kill them, or fight them with constructs and make the Starbreakers stronger so they could kill them. There really wasn't anything else that could have been done other than somebody swooping in to save the day. Having John's sacrifice also restore the memories of the Guardians and introduce this interesting color scheme, as though there's one Guardian per Lantern Corps. That is really interesting to me. Darkseid coming back to the Lantern Corps, John coming back to the Lantern Corps, I'm cool with that. I'm open to possibilities of where that might go. To tie up stories and to see what's next with John. I love it. The art is great. always is in this book, and I feel like this issue is exactly the same. Lots of great scenes, and I was legit surprised by the Dark Sector stuff. I gave it an 8.75 out of 10, but I do have one question. Who's this?
Okay, that's a little brain. I gotta pull it up on my screen.
I can't even see. It's kind of too blurry.
It's on the.
I'm like, am I just crazy? You know, I mean, I see that the reviews are not super positive. I usually don't pay attention to that stuff, but I'm like, am I missing something?
No,
you literally voiced the main point of contention that I had, which is like they had no choice but to let someone else take care of their problem, and I'm like, then why would I read this book? What the fuck?
For a story about the Green Lantern Corps.
Then what's the point of reading this? If a Deus, am I using that word right? If a Deus Ex is just going to come in, yeah, if a Deus Ex Machina is just going to come in and wipe away the problem, why am I reading the book called Green Lantern Corps?
To finish,
I wanted them to come up with something.
To finish seeing how the reset lands.
But it's about the story. I mean, I'm happy with the status quo, sure, but like, I'd still want a satisfying payoff to the story. A moment is not just enough. I don't know. It must just be me, but I'm like, this is. I'm very confused.
I don't keep up with what happens on the
internet. Well, I'm talking about the internet. I'm just talking about like the payoff. Like, I don't know. This is. I feel like I'm losing it, I guess.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
I guess I must be.
No, I get it. I don't know. I'm just, maybe I'm a little bit more forgiving about it because I'm thinking about Jeremy Adams went into this with a very, very messy continuity for Green Lantern. He had 2 Johns. He had a fractured Lantern Corps. He had no other colors were really active. I think Hal didn't even have a ring, and he had to figure out how to bring all of this back and make it make sense and make it all work and get the Lantern mythology back to a point where it could be fun again. And it's not an easy task. So I think I'm just willing to let some things go if they are a little bit far-fetched.
Are you willing to let that picture go?
No, I know who it is. That's Sinestro.
Is it Sinestro?
Yeah, you can tell by the wrist gauntlets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phew. I was like, did they put John in there?
It does kind of look like John with the haircut, but it is Sinestro. Because he's the only one that has those wrist guards.
Wrist gauntlets, yeah. Right on. Okay, good deal.
Maybe I just don't like Green Lantern. I don't know. I can't. I'm not at the point where I can just give a book brownie points for cleaning up the status quo / continuity.
I'm not necessarily giving it to the book. I'm giving it to Jeremy Adams. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here, right? That's why I'm just letting some things go. A lot of people are like Jeremy Adams, just like, messing things up, and he's, a lot of things just kind of like lazy. You're just like, yeah, but look at what he inherited. The water was so fucking muddy, man.
I don't know. I'm just like, you can do both though. Both. Also have something that is satisfying. You know what I mean? I like seeing Saint Walker and stuff like that. That's cool, but that shouldn't be an easy win. I'm not gonna give you a 10 out of 10 because you brought back Saint Walker. I love Saint Walker, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking now. Clearly, I'm the minority about this, but I'm like,
you're might be the minority here, but you're not the minority in total about this book right now. But I think now this
no one talking about how
more straightforward stuff.
A living green light construct is now a Blue Lantern.
That is a cool idea, yes, but I'm talking about other stuff. All this stuff are cool, neat things. I'm talking about the thing that they were fighting, the 6-issue arc that we just read called the Starbreaker Supremacy, about the Green Lantern Corps versus the Starbreakers and how it ended. Not necessarily the status quo, but what they actually did and how that was resolved. And that is my major point of contention, in that it was not resolved. And
Go to the light.
Literally was the last 5 pages of Hal fighting him in a giant mech suit, and then they fly into the lantern. And you're like, oh, wait, that's the end of the book? Am I missing? What the fuck?
Well, there's two things I would say that the last thing I'll say to maybe like counter your point is that it's in the title. It's the Starbreaker Supremacy. They are supremacy. They are more powerful at this point with their status as they are, with their legion, than the Lanterns. Hence the supremacy part. So it
can't nobody take me down.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, they're still vampires. Ooh. So they will be drawn to the bigger power source, so that the Guardians unleashing the power battery energy for them to feed on, they can't ignore it.
Like moth to a flame.
Like moth to a
flame.
Well,
I guess if they escape,
because they're energy vampires, right? But that's like, oh, what do we do? That's what I'm talking about. If they escape, what the fuck's gonna happen? But
yeah,
they kind of tied that up with like the lantern batteries are an endless supply of energy. They're constantly being refilled as emotion is in the universe. So as long as the Starbreakers are in there, they're constantly feeding on that energy.
Yeah. I think this is the last thing I'll say, but I think another thing that bothered me was just like, why was it the Guardians that did it? At least have one of the Lanterns come up with that idea. So it's like, oh, they thought of a solution. It's not a permanent solution, but it's a solution that they were smart enough to come up with. But they're literally like, in the middle of a battle, and then someone else takes care of it. And they're like, okay.
It was a Lantern sacrifice that allowed all of it to happen.
Yes, but I'm talking about when they actually are confronted with the Starbreakers on Oa, and it's like, oh shit, they are greater in power and they're feeding off of our emotional energy. How do we counteract that? Can we? What solution do we have before the Guardians step in and they're just like, to the Lantern, vampires, and then they go, and then it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're done. Like, I don't know. I guess, yeah, that's like the main point of the bitching is just have the Guardians, have the Lanterns do something, you know.
Yeah, come up with.
It's the book that I'm reading.
I get.
Don't have the yeah. It's like, I don't know. It just makes them seem so pointless in the long run. They're like action figures that are there to have cool moments, but they lack the cleverness to actually come up with a way to deal with it. They're just kind of there to fight, and then, oh, okay, well, it's over.
I think the whole thing over arc is the Green Lantern Corps and all of the Lantern Corps being rebuilt. Because while, I mean, perhaps the flying into the vast, endless amount of emotion in the Lanterns isn't the best of endings. This is the Lanterns coming back from a place where all of the corps were decimated, and the United Planets was the Lantern Corps. And it's all like a reconstruction. It's gonna have new shit in it. And I think that us seeing the Guardians playing an active hero, thoughtful role, and this new thing with them in this color scheme, I think it's gonna bring good things. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it.
Yeah, I'm like, at this point, yeah, retitle the book, call it the Guardians of the Universe.
But they were barely in it. They were barely in it. We saw the Corps do all kinds of shit.
Do something. Yeah, I'm like, if they're the ones that are actually cleaning up the problems, maybe they're the ones I should be reading about. Because clearly, the Green Lanterns in this book lack the capacity to actually come up with a solution to the problem.
You're disregarding everything else they've done.
Cells,
I mean, this also not the first time.
So they also have that too. So I'm like, can you do anything right? Clearly not.
Jesus Christ.
Like, come on, man.
Is there a fuck you, dude. Emotional spectrum, because if so, Lantern Brandon, you have
no,
chosen.
seriously. Well, I'm like,
the chartreuse.
If I was, in fear of what the Starbreakers were gonna do, and then I had someone in the Corps come up to me and they're just like, "Nah, but it's all good because the Guardians will just take care of it." I'm like, "Why am I here? What am I doing here? What is my purpose? I could be in my own sector doing my own thing, but you called me back to Oa to get this whole thing started off, and we didn't even do anything." Okay. Anyway, I'm done talking about this because I'm just going to be a broken record. But I'm like, you need to retitle this book or have them do something of actual substance so that I can feel the stakes of the Green Lantern, or write an ending that is satisfying. It's not as hard as you think. But hey, what do I know? I never written nothing.
Josh, you're muted.
We've talked about the book. We've talked about this picture. And before Brandon knocks out Jeremy Adams, we should move on to the final book of the night.
Yeah, let's talk about something else. DCKO #1 at DC Comics event, so you know it means business because it has it on the cover.
Yeah.
Is written by Scott Snyder with art from Javier Fernandez, some intermittent art by Zermanico, colors by Alejandro Sanchez, and letters by Hassan Atsmain El How. We open with a cold open where Superman is getting ready to throw down, and he's got his mini sun knuckles that apparently he wanted to call Dawn's Day knuckles, but Lois was like, "Come on, bro, that's way too cold."
He's
getting ready to step through the gate. He sees something incredible. And then we cut to the title, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah, this is like Metal 2. Hopefully not as bad." Anyway, we cut to a rather tranquil scene after that initial opening, where the Trinity are playing a board game that may or may not be rigged in the Batman's favor, based on the events of the DC characters, and really, it's just an excuse to get them all together, to have some downtime where they're not fighting endless hordes of monsters, and unlike our friends in the Green Lanterns, actually winning with solutions. But they're making their way through the board game and are very close to the finish line at the Watchtower when Lois looks outside and sees the worst thing you could possibly imagine. Yes, it's another major arc in Green Lantern. No, I'm sorry. It's Darkseid, who is literally transforming reality as he makes his way across the plane of existence. The Trinity, of course, are right on the scene, ready to stop him. But as the narration demonstrates, everything that is in his presence becomes him, becomes Darkseid. And after a while, even the unstoppable Trinity are brought to an end, or at least that's what would happen and has already happened, according to the Quantum Quorum, which is comprised of Time Trapper, Gorilla Grodd, Booster Gold, and the World Forger, who are familiar with the timelines that have already happened. And as Booster says, in every single timeline, they fail. It's just like Endgame. So naturally, one thought is to just go back in time and create a new timeline. But of course, Nightwing rather wisely says, "Didn't we try that already? And didn't we get all those horrible Jim Lee costumes? Yeah, we shouldn't do that again. So let's not. Let's not end up with another New 52." So instead of that, they propose a different solution. The World Forger recognizes that there is a core in the Earth right now that is powered by alpha energy, which is a counterpart to the omega energy that comprises Darkseid. And with this core, if you were able to fill that with a certain amount of alpha energy and supercharge a particular hero with that energy, they might have a chance to stop Darkseid. But that is a big might, and is quite the investment that they are not prepared to take. And of course, the first one to object is Superman, recognizing that in order to do this, they would have to embark on basically a huge tournament, fighting the rest of each other to prove that one of them is vicious and ruthless enough to bear the weight of all that alpha energy and ultimately be the one to take on Darkseid. Clark, naturally being hesitant of having to fight all of his friends and colleagues, is reluctant to have to do something like that. But it's really Bruce and Diana who are convincing him to take a different position. Think about the possibilities of it working and what it might mean to have someone who could take on Darkseid. So our next chapter starts with the next 7 days of the DCU, everyone getting everything in order and making the preparations of what will happen when Darkseid arrives, and also getting ready to journey to the center of the Earth and take on this weird Omega core that they have going on. So we see Superman speaking to the UN and making preparations. We see Mr. Terrific putting together these large arcs to transport people, and various members of the DC are spending time with their families, just preparing for what might be their final moments, or at least final moments of normalcy before everything goes crazy. As the week progresses, we also see the heroes literally suit up in some cases, but also mentally suit up with their own armaments and are preparing for what that fight might bring, before finally making the trek to, I think it says the Arctic, and venturing into the center of the Earth, entering this Alpha Nexus, which they do. And as they enter, they are immediately thrown up against. Well, I think it actually cuts to the scene that we saw in the beginning, where Clark is getting ready to, enter the arena, and now we're facing the arena with all the various Titans that are at the center, as well as various heroes that are there as well. And it becomes a Mad Max kind of dash to get from one end to the other, as the rules are explained to them that basically they need to get from one point to the other, enter the portals, and ultimately enter the other side so they can actually begin the tournament. And it's a rather bloody affair. Some people are knocked away. Some people manage to eke through. But in a surprise of surprises, I also forgot to mention that as they were making preparations, they went to the extra effort to try and lock away the supervillains, so there was no possibility that they could be nominated for the tournament. So wouldn't you know it, as they're making their way across, who should show up at the most untimely moment but the villains themselves, which they do, and ultimately take down Batman before he is able to make it to one of the portals. And as they do so, and Batman is sort of fading into this weird state, they're able to make their way to the end with various villains entering the portals, but one in particular being Lex Luthor, who gives a rather nasty look to Clark as he makes it. But of course, Clark is able to make it, so looks like it's going to be a throwdown between them at some point, if we can expect that much. But little do they know that as they're making all these preparations, and as they have finally made it to the core, and the tournament is about to begin, or at least some of the tournaments are about to begin, there are various members of Darkseid's army that are getting ready to attack, including his 3 destroyers. But also, there is one particular person, someone who has taken the form of someone familiar to them that is actually Darkseid himself, who has entered this whole conversation and is getting ready to usurp the whole role of the person who will take on Darkseid or whatever, and basically reveals that while they still think they have a chance in this whole tournament of tournaments, at least according to this omniscient narrator, who we learn is the Alpha Core itself, they've already lost. And we see a rather menacing picture of Booster Gold at the end. So that's DCKO #1, as sporadically as I could summarize the whole thing. This issue was a lot, and I feel like, I don't know, I'm still trying to process some things, but I'll let you guys give me your thoughts first, and I'll come back to it.
It's very much 2021 live action Mortal Kombat, with issue 2 basically being what's going to be Mortal Kombat 2 with the actual tournament. A lot of setup and world building and getting you prepped for what's going to be the giant fucking brouhaha. Even though you already see a giant brouhaha with a whole bunch of people dying, that's honestly the vibe I got by the end of this issue. Was like the same thing that I got watching the first Mortal Kombat movie. It's wild, it's crazy, it's fun, it's shocking, it has some twists and turns, and has me questioning fucking everything. I don't like that they had the core narrator saying that I could tell you who's going to win. It's none of them. Just that seems kind of cheap. I don't like that. keep the suspense, because yeah, that's probably an unreliable narrator kind of deal, but just don't even do that. Don't even have that as dialogue. I don't care to that even be a thing. Because that kind of kills a bit of the fun of it for me. Because what if that is the case? Like, it's not an unreliable narrator, and none of them actually win, and it is Darkseid that takes the power, etc., etc., whatever. Just like that, that just makes this automatically makes this whole thing feel pointless. And I did not like that part, but I liked everything else. Actually, there was I keep forgetting to there is. Did they explain how the villains got out of the Phantom Zone?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, maybe that's going to be in a tie-in or something. We'll have to see. So yeah, that's basically it. It had some shocking stuff. Batman actually dying to the Joker, and the Joker taking his place, even though we were shown the 32 fighters like 2 months ago, and Batman is one of them. And you see Batman get stabbed through the chest, and he disappears. Like, holy shit! Well, what the fuck? And then you find out at the end it's actually the Joker is taking his place on the bracket.
Yeah, he's going to go off and fight his evil Bat kids, according to that miniseries or something.
So the heroes that have quote unquote died are not actually dead. They're just in the losers bracket. So yeah.
God, could you imagine the upset? One of them comes back to win it all.
You know, whenever there's a loser bracket winner, it's always a bit of an upset. And we get to see an updated bracket at the end of the issue. The comic shop I go to has a contest that had a printed out version of this, and you basically do your own March Madness bracket, and whoever gets closest at the end wins a prize or something. I don't know what the prize is, but I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah, really should have put this book out in March.
Yeah.
Capitalize on the bracket hype.
There's a couple of obvious wins I think could happen here. I think Joker's going to beat Star Sapphire, and Red Hood's going to beat Damian Wayne, because they're going to meet up in the next round. So it'll be Joker versus Red Hood in round 2. Right away, I could see that happening. The rest, I don't know. It's a toss-up.
Yeah, but, I don't know. I'm waiting for this. I've seen a lot of chatter about this Guy Gardner Firestorm battle.
Yeah, I could see Guy Gardner winning that.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where like fucking God, anything could happen. I mean, you have someone who can transform matter and someone who can literally think of anything.
Yeah. Like, I'll be honest,
it's an evenly matched battle, but I don't know.
A lot of
technically couldn't Firestorm. Technically, couldn't Firestorm.
If you know the chemical makeup of it. Excuse me. Let me clarify.
Yeah, if he knows the chemical makeup,
right?
Yeah.
Can't he alter light though?
Possibly.
Or is it just element?
I think he can transmute elements into other elements.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
That's a good question.
So maybe light, like hard light, is not something he can transmute, because
no. But I mean, if you can transform,
make a really fast
air or something. That's a defensive mechanism, you know.
Yeah.
Air is concrete. Boom, done.
So I'll be honest, a lot of my round 1 picks are basing on who they could potentially fight in the second round. So I could see Guy Gardner winning and Jay Garrick beating the Cheetah. So you have Guy versus Jay, a Green Lantern versus a Flash. And Jay schooling Guy to probably take on Superman in round 3.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just... It's going to be an interesting bracket pick. But yeah, so that's happening. A lot of surprises, a lot of interesting stuff. I like it so far. I'm sold on the book. I'm still excited about it. I can't wait to see what the fuck happens. Just that one bit of dialogue at the end kind of lessened the excitement for me a little bit, but it's still like the most I've been excited about an event in a long time. So this is still, for now, going to get a 9.25 out of 10.
Jeez. Everyone's happy today. All right, I've formulated my thoughts, and I have come to the conclusion that this book is pure schlock, and I like most of it. I mean, I kind of knew it was coming, but like when this book was announced a while ago, I was like, this story is a pretense to have all your favorite characters fight. Having read this issue, I still feel that way.
Yeah.
But it is fun. There are things that I enjoy about it. There are things that I don't.
That's what you guys said going into this. You guys were looking forward to it because it was going to be like a manga fight tournament.
Yeah.
Basic. We haven't got to that point yet, and I still hope it leans into that. But you did actually have a couple of the tropes, which I thought was funny, which is like, gotta have a scene where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should fight, and then they convince each other to fight, and then they go for it. Yeah, very classic.
Because it's for the greater good.
The greater good.
The Lex Luthor thing. I don't know what's going on with that. Unless I missed something in Williamson's run. I thought the whole point of Lex going off the Nanda Parbat was to chill out and to atone. But when the bot shows up in Nanda Parbat, he's super aggro. And even more so when he actually shows up and makes it to the portal and is like, fuck you, Superman, like go save a fucking cat or something. And I'm just like,
I think it was because when did he turn? I think it was because he had chosen to go to Nanda Parbat to chill out, and they still locked him up. So he went, fuck you, Superman. I don't like it, but that's what I think happened.
I was under that same thing that they're still going after him, but on top of that, he was also attacked by Omega Karate Kid in Superman, and even at the end of that, he's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. All right, fine, I'm coming back, just kind of deal. And like he seemed pissed off at the end of that. I was like, they can't even leave me alone when I want to be alone. Like, fuck off. Like, I think he's tired of being dragged into this shit, and he's just like, that's why he's a bit pissed off, because he's actively trying to leave it all behind for a while, and he just keeps getting dragged back in.
Yeah, you would think if you were really going to try, you'd just be like, okay, well, you know what? I mean, they want me in jail. I'll take the vacation. Like, I don't have to fight. I get Lex Luthor has his ego. We all love that. But I'm like, really? I don't know. I'm maybe Glenn feels this way too, but like, I was really enjoying the Lex is on the path to redemption. Let's put
I did too. Yeah.
Craziness to bed. And now he's just like, fuck you, Superman. Like, you're such a bitch. You can't handle it. You don't have that smoke. Like, you're not bad like me. I'm like, that's a funny line. I genuinely, when he's like, go rescue a fucking cat from a tree, I laughed because I was like, it's so ridiculous. But it was kind of funny. But there's also the part of me that's like, come on, Lex. Like, I thought we were past this. I always think we're past this, and then
he never will be, which is a shame.
Like my drunk uncle. Come on, man. Be better. You said you were going to AA, and now you're, passed out on the couch, and mom says you can't sleep here anymore. I promise it's not based on that. All my family members are not like that. But anyway, aside from that actual review, the first issue was pretty fun. And I completely agree with you, Rob, that the final couple pages like does kind of undermine it. Like, I think a really great way to end it would have just been like, here are your champions. Can you decide? Boom. And it's like, oh shit. And then they have the bracket, and it's like, oh, okay, let's guess. Like, who's it gonna be? But you have the whole like, they've already lost. And if it does lead to that point, and this KO event is only a stepping stone for another larger event, I'm gonna feel like it was a complete waste of time. So I really hope it's just a fake out and it doesn't lead to that, but we'll see. So I don't know. There is a weird sadistic part of me that's like, obviously you don't like seeing your heroes fight, but at the same time, if they're really like, I need to prove that I'm like, I got it in me, I got that dog in me to handle this alpha energy, maybe see them go all out a little bit, like just at that point, because Superman was kind of pissed at the end of this issue, and I don't like seeing a pissed Superman, but at the same time, maybe he kind of has to be to accept this King Omega role. So it's a lot there, but I'm interested at least. So I'll give this an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I mean, okay, that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
I am. Well, the first thing I'm going to note is that this explains the dark side heart in whatever book that was we just read. Um, that I complained about
Yes.
being on Krypton, because it wasn't Darkseid's heart; it was the infernal machine. And when Darkseid found it, it turned him into Darkseid, yada yada yada. Uh, Time Trapper Keeper isn't in it. Aquaman has power equal to or surpassing Superman, Power Girl, and Supergirl's own. Darkseid's three destroyers are absolute Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. My prediction was wrong. It's not Booster, but he is in the tournament. I mean, technically, um, I do have one complaint. My biggest complaint for this book is I was given an unwanted preview of things to come with the next issue page. We see many heroes that are going to die, and we see Lobo jacked up on Bane Venom, which should be wild, but you should have left that as a surprise.
Wait, what?
Other than that, it's fucking bonkers. What a ride. I mean, the narration from the heart.
I think all the people in the preview had already died. Yeah. Like Adam Strange, Blue Beetle, John and Hal and Ambush Bug, I think all died in this issue.
Yeah.
I know Adam Strange definitely did.
But why is Lobo jacked up on Bane Venom?
I mean, that's the only thing that
you gotta find out.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also the cover of issue 2 as well. So no matter what, you'd be spoiled right away. But I think that's, I don't know, that remains to be seen.
Altogether, it's fucking bonkers. What a ride. The narration from the Heart of Apocalypse, I think, was cool. It being confident that Darkseid wins, not cool. But opens up an interesting possibility that neither one of you guys are going to like the idea of.
Try me.
Oh, I promise. The way they got the story out of the way, it felt satisfying. It did justice, not really leaving anything out while covering it quickly. And the way that they did it with the art to make it flow, that big wave thing that they did, that was really, really cool. The premise is pretty badass. The art is astounding. I loved this issue, but worst case scenario, Darkseid wins. They've promised us that the absolute universe is going to continue. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Well, what if it does? And it is this universe. And in order to save everybody, Time Trapper Keeper creates a new timeline.
You're right. I do hate that idea.
Told you.
Or it could be that the absolute universe stories continue as basically prequels to this event, which some might call futile and ultimately leads to nowhere. But it's like, if they're good stories, they're good stories, you know?
Yeah.
Because I saw someone else posted, basically, it's just like, what if all of this is just a prelude to where we're going to eventually lead to in DCKO, where you get that crossover, assuming it does happen, you know? Would that undermine the other stuff? I don't know. I don't think so.
But, I don't think so either. I don't think so at all. Because, like you said,
I think that would be the smart.
It's just a damn good story.
Yeah.
Yeah. It keeps them separate enough while not completely stepping on what's happening right at this moment.
Right. You know? And if anybody read Absolute
Diana has to leave the maze so she can fight, you know, Connor Hawk or something. I mean, that sounds awesome, but also I don't want that to happen.
Hopefully when it's all said and done, they're able to do it, and then whoever it is that wins will be able to reshape the universe in the way that they want. But one thing is for sure, they're either going to prove the Heart of Apocalypse wrong, or there will be a new timeline. It's definitely
God,
one
I
of those. And
hope
I give
not.
this issue a 9 out of 10. I give Brandon
Right on.
a 4 out of 10 for knocking Jim Lee art.
What I do? Oh, I mean, yeah, that's just objectively wrong. Hey, even Nightwing says it, so I'm more like, whose opinion am I gonna take? Yours or Nightwing's? I'm sorry, I love you, buddy, but like, Dick's like, nope, we're not doing that again, and I'm like, that's why you're the man.
Who got
That's
the
why you were the
worst
hero
treatment
that
during the
heroes
New
look up
52?
to. Yeah, because even he's like, I don't want to go back to wearing those terrible costumes, and I don't want to go back to having no history. You know?
Yeah.
I don't even look good in red.
Yeah.
Didn't show my ass off at all. All right, well, that is it, and that is all. Who will win? That is the bracket that is left. No more Batman. Smiley face over that. I'm wondering if they're going to keep track of everybody's deaths that way by having a certain icon over who it was that killed them. That would be interesting, but we are all done. Almost. We've got the top 3 in our favorite moment, favorite cover as well. Top 3. Mine are Batman and Robin, Green Lantern Corps, and DCKO in number 1. And in classic Mark Waid, classic Superman style, we got after action one panel zingers. Pete Ross diffusing the Braverman situation for Clark, and then after, this is my favorite moment, Lana tells Pete, you should work in bomb disposal. I laughed pretty damn good at that one. I thought that was freaking great.
Yeah.
What did you guys have for your top 3 and favorite moment?
So I had GLC at number 3, Action Comics at number 2, and DCKO at number 1. With my favorite moments, I was having a hard time picking one because there was actually quite a few, but in the image you shared from Green Lantern Corps when you're trying to figure out who that lantern in the background was, upon looking a little harder at it, I saw Atrocitus doing some shit. He's blasting a Starbreaker
from
with
behind,
a giant beam,
the
while also smashing another Starbreaker's face into a red wall construct. That's just classic Atrocitus, and I fucking love it.
Some good shit.
We have had
more.
I'm gonna stop complaining.
Add on to Dexter doing his thing again in the bottom left corner there, and I'm happy to see the Red Lanterns back up to snuff again.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And Brandon, you?
Let's see. I have KO at number 3, Action Comics at number 2, but I gotta give number 1 to Batman and Robin, which I felt like was just the most solid book overall this week. And it's a book that is doing exactly what it should, no more, no less, which is great. Sometimes you just need a book that is just rock solid like that.
It definitely
my favorite moment again, like, just because it was so, like, I don't even have the word for it other than just like it was so out of pocket, maybe petty, but like the shit-eating grin, and I almost wish it was more shit-eating. Not that you should ever eat more shit, that Lex gives to Superman right before he enters the portal, where he's like just looking at him with absolute pity. And the narration says it's a smile that says, "Go save an effing cat from a tree." I just like, it was so ridiculous. It just made me laugh. I was like,
was good,
this is insane, but I kind of love it. Even if I don't necessarily love Lex being in that position, it just completely caught me off guard.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And now for our favorite covers. We've got a mad mess here. We've got Aquaman, Batman and Robin, Action Comics, Green Lantern Corps, and DCKO.
Right away, I'm just gonna say I'm giving it to Green Lantern Corps because I can't help but feel like it's very reminiscent of the first Star Wars poster from 1977.
Yeah, kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Brandon, where are you at? Which one did you like for your favorite cover this week?
Tough pick for this week, but probably Action Comics. Just
Right
the silhouette of Captain Comet is gorgeous looking.
It is.
And yeah, I'm like, damn, when are we gonna get the spinoff? It's got to be coming soon, right? Is Jim Starlin doing anything? Would he write it another Captain Comet book again?
I'd be so down.
Well, I also picked the Green Lantern as my favorite. I thought it was done great, not because it reminded me of Star Wars, just because it felt like a really good cover, especially featuring all those weirdos in there, man. Loved it. And that is the show. Thank you everybody for watching. We will be back next week covering all of DC's weekly releases. Same Geek time, same Geek channel. And that is it. We're getting out of here, so you'll have to as well. Be careful out there. And remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.